Chat. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Hello, good morning. Are you ready for a new set? It's time for a new set, everybody. Welcome to Joel R Magic. If you're here live, thanks for being here. If you're here after the fact, thanks for being here. I'm Joel. I've been playing Magic for over 20 years. It's my job to keep you ahead of your most expensive hobby. Subscribe, and I'll do that. Yo, I just got back from Los Angeles. I was there for 2 nights. I'm exhausted and a little sick, but maybe just exhausted. Went out to LA, worked on some projects. I'll be able to talk about it a little bit more after the reveal today. But this set's gonna be fun, y'all. I can tell you, this set looks great. This is no Spider-Man. As somebody who loves Spider-Man, the IP, let me clarify, and kind of like the set. I have my Ultimate Spider-Man deck sitting right here. Hello, how we doing? Got a little Ultimate Spider-Man love in chat, yeah? I need to update this. I want to put my text on the screen here because I know some people are gonna be asking. Adverts, ba-da-da-da, grab some text. I've been watching the show. Oh wow, Madamus, I didn't know you were bringing the heat today. Madamus, are you a firebender? Where's add text, chat? I can't find anything. I want to write on the screen. Oh, here it is, text. New avatar. Add source. All right. I've watched through book 2, 27. Or 7 of book 2. Zuko Alone. That was the last episode that I've watched. Like I said, I flew to Los Angeles this weekend, and so I had about 10 hours in a plane. And you can get mad at me if you want, Avatar fans, but I've been watching it at 1.5 speed. Now, here's my argument for that. It's been totally fine. I am loving the show. I think it's a very cute show. So well written. The voice acting is insanity. The voice acting is so good in this show. Like top to bottom, main characters all the way through characters that have like 2 lines on the show. All of the voice acting is top notch. The writing, very digestible. That's why you can watch it on 1.5 speed, because it is written down to children. But the concepts and the like stories and the questions that the story asks are adult as hell. It's insane. I was like 4 or 5 episodes in, and the episode where we meet Jet for the first time happened. Episode 10 episodes into this show, in the season where it's still pretty, like, it's more childlike. I've noticed season 2 gets a little deeper, and the animation improves even more, which is crazy because the animation's great on the show as well. And yeah, I do think, Andrew, that I'll have to speed down, or Azam, I do think I'm gonna have to slow down this because the fights are getting cooler and the fights go way too fast at 1.5 speed, because that's another thing. As a lover of action movies, I'm an action movie, like that's what I like. Big Marvel fan, Mission Impossible. I'm naming some of my, the action movies are my thing. The action in this show, it's not throughout, but when it happens, is sick. It's very cool fighting. Love it. I've really loved the show. I appreciate everybody who was like, you gotta watch it, man. Please go watch it. Because, thanks, RJ. I appreciate it. I honestly think everybody should watch me on their second monitor on 1.5 speed. We understand it. But yeah, Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad everybody's mostly on board with me watching it on 1.5 because it really has been completely fine. I've gotten everything. I've really enjoyed it. Absorbing all the conversations. Really, it's only the fighting that sometimes I'll like, hang on. I gotta go back and watch that again. I love how effortlessly badass Aang is, but he's also like a goofy guy. That's such a fun anime trope. I haven't watched a ton of anime in my life, but I have noticed this trope where like the main badass, ultimate, like One Punch Man kind of, that character who's like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. It's very Taekwondo. I don't want to fight. I want to resolve this. I want to be peaceful. I want to have fun. Everybody should love each other. But if you push them too far, obliteration. I love that anime trope. That's so fun. And so I love how silly Aang is. Who else? What else? Oh, Zuko. Very funny character. Thought he was going to be annoying at first, but the writing for Zuko is not Zuko. The other of the gang. Sokka. Very funny. Zuko? Okay, so we'll talk about Zuko. I thought Zuko was going to be super annoying at first because he was just like, I just have to capture the Avatar. My honor. But cool character. Starting to like him more and more. Oh, got introduced to his sister? Holy crap. What a psycho. And the lady with knives that travels around with Zuko's sister. She's just like, Frah! She's like, oh, there she is. Frah! Knives. Oh, and we just met, I just met Ty Lee too earlier in this season where her whole thing is just turning off everybody else's power. She was fighting Sokka and she was like, pow, right in the elbow. And he's like, okay, all right, pow. And he was like, okay, all right. She just turns off their bending and turns off their entire fighting. That's very cool. Oh, and I can tell why people told me Uncle Iroh was a beloved character. Dom told me going in, he was like, people love Iroh, Uncle Iroh. I like Uncle Iroh a lot. As someone older watching this show, that is one of the characters I identify with. They're like, sharing tea with a stranger is one of the best things you can do in life. Hell yeah. Iroh's a chill guy. Yeah, Zuko's cool. Like I said, I feel like we're not quite dug into Zuko fully yet at Zuko Alone, which is again the episode I just finished. I just met, is it Toph or Toph? The first metal bender, which she becomes the first metal bender, but right now she is just a total badass. The writing is just so good, man. It handles such like complex conversations and questions. Oh, I was talking about the first episode we meet Jet. Like, if you haven't seen the show before, they are on this journey to help Aang learn a lot of stuff because he's got to learn a lot of stuff to be the badass, to beat the bad guy. And that's basically what the show is them going around and him trying to learn all the stuff. That's like as much as you can boil it down. During their travels, they meet these freedom fighters that are like on their side against the bad guys. At least I should say that they're not on their side, but they're against the bad guys. And the whole episode is about collateral damage and acceptable losses. Because these freedom fighters, the gang throws in with them and they're like, yeah, we'll help you. Let's fight. And they're like, great, we're going to flood this valley and then we're going to blow this dam up and flood this city. And they're like, that sounds great. And then they're like, wait, hang on, that city? That city's full of civilians. And they're like, yeah, but it's also got the bad guys in it. And then the whole episode is like the gang versus these freedom fighters and who's doing the right thing, what's an acceptable loss, what's collateral damage, like really intense. I don't know if you've ever seen the show The West Wing, but it reminded me of The West Wing. And give me just a second. The very first episode of West Wing, let me look, West Wing pilot episode. I believe... No, it's just one of the episodes. It's not the pilot. But there's an episode of West Wing. Collateral damage? There was some episode, I can't remember what it is. Anyway, that was the topic of that episode of The West Wing, was there's a terrorist and we want to get rid of him, but doing so, we might hit civilians. What do we do? And I was like, I can't believe that this Nickelodeon show is like, let's ask this question. And then the whole episode with the Warriors Kyoshi, where it's like, what's a boy? What's a girl? What's a masculine girl? What's a feminine boy? Can you be both? Can you be a combination of either? I was like, this is a kid's show. Who was the main warrior Kyoshi that Sokka has a crush on? They're probably gonna have a little story when they went back to Kyoshi Island. He was like, so is so and so around? No reason, was just curious. Anyway, chat, that's my like first impressions of Avatar. I've really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to this set. I think that the tone and power systems and story really match up with Magic the Gathering in a strong way. I think that Suki, yeah, dude, Suki was dope. Kicked his ass and then he came back and she was like, back for another dance lesson? I was like, oh my god. Anyway, it's a dope show. If you haven't watched it, I suggest giving it a shot. Watch it on Netflix. It's all on there. Watch it on 1.5 speed if you're above the age of 18. And slow it down for the fight scenes. And probably toward the end. I saw somebody in chat say, yeah, you got to slow it down at the end. That makes sense. Because it's already getting deeper and it's already getting like more into backstory. Zuko alone was like, that whole episode was basically half flashbacks to his childhood and what happened with his grandfather and his uncle and all that stuff. Favorite side characters. Y'all, sorry, I'm kind of eating lunch at the same time. I'm a little bit sick. It doesn't matter. What are y'all's favorite side characters? One of mine is Boomy. You could tell when that episode happened, the King of Amashu. Like, you could kind of guess what was going on, but it was fun to watch Aang come around to it. And they've written that character so well. The crazy guide. The seemingly... It's very like Drunken Master. Cabbage Guy. Yeah, Cabbage Guy. So does Cabbage Guy get more? So far, I've seen him like 2 or 3 times. And as much as people have mentioned him, is it ever any more than that joke? Randy, what's up, buddy? Oh, really, Strix? Yeah, Zuko alone was good. That really gave a lot of Uncle Iroh. I wouldn't call Uncle Iroh a side character tactics. Uncle Iroh is like a main character. I feel like he's in every episode, nearly. Kyle, yeah, it's super like, it's super consumable. That's what I said. Watch it. If you are over the age of 18, watch it at 1.5 speed on Netflix. You'll get it. You'll love it. It's really fun. Only my cabbages? Yeah. That's it. Just the classic meme. That's so funny. I assumed that he was like gonna get his own episode or something, and I'm halfway through season 2 and they're so focused on the main storyline with this show. Oh, that's another thing. Yo, so with these shows, typically with like 3 seasons or more, you can do a quick Google and be like, which Avatar: The Last Airbender episodes can I skip? Every single forum of Avatar people talking about which episodes you can skip was like, none of them. Maybe this one. And they keep naming one. I can't remember which one it is. But they were like, nah, not really. You gotta watch it all. There's more important, there's less important. Like that episode, The Swamp. That was the first one where I was like, okay, it kind of gave me some backstory and it gives us the vision that Aang needs to go hunt down a earthbending teacher. And it's Toph. Did anybody tell me how to pronounce it? Kyle Walter, The Great Divide is my least favorite episode so far. Yes. Okay. So multiple people are on the Great Divide being a... That was not my favorite episode. That one I thought was a little bit annoying. I did like the guide. The guide was a funny character. He had some funny asides. The writing is really good. A lot of the funniest lines are like off-screen lines or little throwaway lines. Toph. Thank you, Toph. Yeah, I just watched The Blind Bandit. That is right before Zuko Alone. And I had started the chase, and then I realized I got to get ready for this stream. And so I was watching them get chased across the countryside by like a tank thing. Oh, it was a tank full of 3 deadly women. That's what it was. Yeah, dude, Great Divide was... It was just obnoxious, and I didn't like... The first season, a couple of times leans on this, like, I'm 100 years old, but I don't remember anything, but, oh, I just remembered this thing from my past. I just remembered this thing from when I was a kid. Or, even worse, oh, I just remembered this thing from a past life. Come on, like, I get it, but come on. And so the Great Divide... They're arguing over nothing the whole time, and it's so like, it's Dr. Seuss, bro. It's like butter side up, butter side down. That's the whole story. We're not so different. It's like, I get it. I get it. It's an old story, but it checks out. I gotta go find this stream. So chat, what we're doing here today, thanks for letting me talk about Avatar a little bit. I'd love to talk to y'all more about it. Oh, dude, the boulder was a good one. The boulder is conflicted about fighting a blind little girl. And she talks some shit, and he's like, the boulder's over his conflicted feelings. Boulder was a fun character. Like I said, most of the side characters are really fun. All the stuff is well written, the dialogue is really good, and the voice acting just elevates everything to this next tier up. It's crazy. Who's the guy who sings? The Wandering Troubadour or whatever? Secret Tunnel! That guy. Here we go, debut. We got an hour. We got an hour till this video pops up. 62 more minutes. So thank you, Martin, right there. Aw, man, Lid, you're in the wrong place. Illidlin. Sorry, but you found the wrong room. If you want to complain about it, go somewhere else. We're looking at stuff that seems pretty cool here today. What's wrong with him having memories from his own life before the iceberg? Strix, there's nothing wrong with it, but I feel like something like that should come at a cost for a character. It feels very convenient when the entire resolution of an episode is, oh wait, I remember. I'm like, he didn't even like have him fall and hit his head or something, and he's injured and he's got to wake up from this tiny coma. Like, it needs to come, things need to come at the cost of the main character if we're gonna like resolve things like that, in my opinion. And so it was just a little, it was eye-rolly, that episode, The Great Divide. The end was eye-rolly on top of an eye-rolly episode on top of a story that we've seen 1,000 times, which is butter side up, butter side down. Oh, we're not that different. Got it. And so the end of that episode was like, oh, I remember y'all, they were just playing soccer. It was just soccer, y'all. It wasn't stealing or whatever the fight was. Azam, how do you think they're gonna make an Avatar set and not give us a land called Secret Tunnel? You know that's happening. Devin, in 1 hour, we have got the reveal of... Here, let me... I can put that in text just so I don't have to answer that 1,000 times. And people will know what is happening. 12:55 p.m. Eastern is when this video is going live. I wanted to go live, talk about Avatar, see what we've gone over, or see what we've already revealed so far. And y'all can... The cost is half his lifespan? Oh, it's like... So you're saying... Yeah, I mean... The cost is he was frozen in ice, but that's not what I'm talking about, though. Those don't line up. It's just the convenience of him realizing something. Nothing should be convenient. It wasn't a choice he made. It wasn't, I have to figure out how to enter the avatar state. Oh, that was a really funny episode and a good episode too. Premiere of season 2 was the Earth King, maybe? Or somebody from maybe a general of the Earth Kingdom was trying to trigger the avatar state. And Aang was like, yeah, okay, let's figure it out. And then he was like, yo, I think maybe we just should like let it happen because it turns me pretty crazy, dude. Yeah, Santiago, we're gonna get a lot of new cards today. Let me change this text. Properties. Reveal at 12:55 p.m. EST. Zuko episode. What did I was typing and thinking at the same time. What is that episode called? Zuko Alone? I just wrote Zuko episode. I told y'all, I'm tired. This time yesterday, I was on a plane. All right, there we go. No, he legit can't live a long life for being in the avatar state for 100 years. Oh, I guess I haven't revealed that yet. I guess I haven't gotten there yet. Beefy, episode 27, Zuko Alone. Oh yeah, Strix. Honestly, that makes it even worse, bro. I hear you. Strix said not defending the Great Divide episode, but that soccer thing was a lie. Aang told you missed that. I didn't miss that. You're right. That is like further frustrating to me. It's kind of interesting that they'll let their main character, who's supposed to be like this symbol of all that's good and pure, lie to solve a conflict. Because it's like, it's a white lie, who cares? And they also, there was that really good episode where they were arguing there was the waterbending scroll, and they were arguing over the ethics of stealing something that was stolen, or stealing from pirates. And I do like how this show will, like I said, kind of approach adult topics and ask difficult questions, but then handle it with this like sort of innocence, this sort of purity in its answer. Moises, me too. So I am familiar, Beefy, with the overarching story. I watched, before I started watching the show, I watched a like recap of the whole thing, so I would get a general idea of the world if I wasn't going to find time to be able to watch it. But luckily I found some time to actually dig in. Way better. Way better. Oh, nice. Black Lotus, what's up? Good to see you. I think we will get another master set in the future. I don't know if what it'll be called, but not right now. We don't have one next year or probably the year after that. Wizards works typically on 2-year cycles, and so if they give us an announcement or anything, you can kind of count on that. You can count on it changing, number one, because Wizards always changes things. That's what they do. It is a mark of the game that it's constantly changing and updating, but they work on 2-year cycles, and so you can count on that to kind of hold for 2 years. So they just said no more masters for the foreseeable future. So if they were to make that decision, it'd probably be like a Q4 meeting or a Q1 meeting when they're like, oh yeah, let's bring master set back, and then we won't see it till 27, 28 probably. Shellshay, what's up? Good to see you. Any thoughts on Avatar Roku? So far he's just kind of been like the mystical teacher, right? I'm interested to see how they continue handling the like spirit form stuff. That was another like, this is all kind of convenient. I mean, he spent the whole first episode of season 2 trying to trigger himself into avatar state through crazier and crazier means. And then when they finally did it through like the worst way possible, Avatar Roku pulls him into the spirit world, or he gets pulled into the spirit world by Avatar State, and Roku's like, all right, time we taught you this. It's like, bro, that guy, a day ago would have been dope. I wouldn't have had to been attacked by Earth Kingdom soldiers. Jason, we haven't heard anything about serialized. I think that they would have already said if we were going to get a serialized card in this. Austin, we're not getting Bloomborough 2 next year. The entire slate for next year's sets have already been announced. We got Lore When Eclipsed, then we go to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, I can't even remember. I'm off the top of my head. Seriously, I can't even think today. Magic sets 2026. Lorwyn Eclipse, TMNT, Secrets of Strixhaven, then Marvel Superheroes, then The Hobbit, then an in-universe set called Reality Fracture, and then Star Trek. Reality Fracture is the one that, in the reveal, that's the one I'm most interested in right now for next year, because that was in the reveal. Rosewater said that they did something he didn't think was physically possible for a product, and that is very unique, very intriguing to me. Oh, got it. So I haven't learned more about Roku yet. Yeah. I mean, so far he's just been kind of like, I'll guide you a little bit. Jennifer Hale. I don't know who Jennifer Hale is. That's the voice of... Oh, wow. She's done a lot of work, huh? Jennifer Hale is the voice of who? Kiyoshi? Oh, yeah. Warriors Kyoshi's are pretty badass. The reveal is at 12:55 p.m. EST. Got it just under an hour. We got some new cards coming at us today. Oh, Quantum, what's up? Good to see you. Magic the Gathering, right? Quantum, are you an Avatar fan? Are we never going back to Alara? We're going back to the plane of New York before Alara. Ain't that the truth? I'm sure that we will revisit Alara at some point. Okay, dude. Now that we're in this world of half UB, half magic for the foreseeable future, or half UB, half in-universe, I should say, I feel like the in-universe stuff for the next few years, they're going to have to lean on known planes. I highly doubt, besides Reality Fracture, which could just be a set like March of the Machine that's happening all over the place. We'll see. Because it's been described as a War of the Spark type event. Reality Fracture might happen all over the place, but I don't think that it's going to be highest priority for them to introduce new planes. And so I think what that means is the likelihood of us going back to Alara is higher than not. Does that make sense? Because I think they're going to want recognizable stuff. When was the last time we got a brand new plane? Was it Ixalan right after Amonkhet? We almost got a brand new plane with that character Teo in War of the Spark. Are you worried the Avatar cards will spoil the show? This show came out in 2020. I mean, in 2006, right? Or 2004? I mean, there's got to be a statute of limitations on spoiling stuff. And even like somebody who will get it spoiled has to know. You got to admit to yourself, like, you had a little bit of time. Yeah, okay, dude. I've heard like a future sight set with Reality Fracture. I've theorized that it's going to be a set of entirely modal dual face cards. Because when he says the words, I didn't know it would be physically possible. That sounds tough to print an entire set dual-sided. And Reality Fracture, like, it can be either side, and you've kind of got those themes going with Lorwyn Eclipse. We've already seen in the early reveals of those. It's like day, night, good, evil, all mashed together. I don't know. 2005? Yeah, this show came out in 2005. There's a statute of limitations on spoil, Queen Bee. Gotta like... I've always approached spoilers very differently than most people. I don't really care if stuff gets spoiled. I feel like it's just a different way to enjoy the story. If I know where we're going, I get to see how we get there. I mean, people always talk about, oh, I love to go back and rewatch that one knowing what the end is going to be. Yeah. You can have that experience for the first time too. That's okay. Sometimes, a lot in media actually, it shows us the end and then goes back to the beginning and tells us the story to get there. That's how the entire story is structured. So I've never really cared about spoilers. It's not a big deal to me. Personally. So there's my thoughts. Wide and personal. 4-card meld. Ugh, meld is not. I think a an entire set of dual face cards is already like potentially major cringe to constantly be going, all right, hang on, I'll play this land as this side. Give me a second. All right, attack with this creature that flips it. I'm gonna play this side of this instant. Hang on. Like, I don't even think that's physically possible, which makes me think that it's high on the list. Yeah, this show's 20 years old. Aang is the Avatar? Somebody ban Gravity Hammer, bro. Any mods in chat can ban Gravity Hammer? Get the spoilers out of here, dude. God. Yeah, Battle Fries, that sounds like you're really into the lore, man. I love that. I hope that they treat it well. They haven't. Lore hasn't been a really big focus for them until like this year. But they really have been trying to up their game, I think, with the online stories, and they've announced a book. It's already been spoiled that Zuko will be Fire Lord. Oh, I didn't know that Zuko becomes Fire Lord at some point. That's dope. I would have thought his entire story was leaning toward him being like, I do water now. Bleh. 5 minutes ago, MTG page updated their Facebook profile picture. Magic, Facebook, MTG. Esteban, yes. Yes. There are some very cool designs in this set. Oh, here we go. Oh, they changed it to Avatar. Got it. The Avatar set symbol. The mechanics look really cool. Oh, Mardu Zuko is called Fire Lord Zuko. That's true. That's true. Hadn't considered that all the way out, Vinny. Oh yeah, Battle Fries. I used to read the story every day when it came out, or it was like once a week. Around Ixalan, they had stories posting. Rivals of Ixalan, they had stories posting every day. I remember them. Remember reading every week. Following them all headed toward that, whatever the MacGuffin was in Ixalan. That big gear. No, Madamus. Unfortunately, no James Cameron around here. Brad, I would say the best set for battles next year, probably Reality Fracture or maybe Strixhaven, just because it's like they're both being sort of marketed as battle sets. Like war is the main story there or something. Yeah, Strix. The Boulder's truly conflicted. Yeah, the Jason Vraska subplot was a good one. That's what I was talking about, Battle Fries, that era. Yeah, Taco, that's what I was talking about, that Warriors Kyoshi episode. It asked, and it wasn't just, and that's the thing, that episode could have very much been just, hey, don't be sexist towards women, women can be strong too. But that wasn't the point of that episode. The point of that episode was everybody, regardless of your gender, gets to choose their own masculinity or femininity. And you can kind of be both if you want to. Like, that was the whole point of... Y'all already told me, but who is Sokka's love interest character that's a warrior Kyoshi, the main girl? She was like, I'm a total badass. I'm a better fighter than you. I'm a better fighter than you'll ever be. By the way, I have a crush on you, and kisses him on the cheek. And so that even when they approach a simple story or a story that's even, you know, kind of deep, gender, that's a major issue even today. They handle it from every angle they can. Suki, yeah. Her character wasn't just, oh, women can be badass too. It wasn't that simple. And that's the show. That's kind of what I've noticed about the storylines of the show is this. It's not that simple. A lot of the stories boil down to, well, it's not that simple. Avatar. I mean, the whole first episode of season 2, they're just like, oh, we got to trigger this Avatar state and we'll go right now. Why are we waiting? You're ready. You can fight. You're stronger than anybody I've ever seen. And so they're dealing with these questions of like, The war is continuing. People are dying. Do I need to train further? Can I even do this? Very interesting. Very deep. Ko's the face stealer. Yo, you want to talk about... That is a perfect example, Brendan, of the excellence in voice acting with this show. Is... I know the last words that Ko said in the first episode, the only episode I've seen Ko in so far, the last words he said was, "We'll be seeing each other again." And I was like, good. Definitely want to see that character again. Because so well written, such a fun character. The voice acting was top notch. Loved that character. Vinny, UA episode, that was at the end of season 1, right? Season 1 ended with the Fire Nation attacking the Northern Water Tribe. Yeah, Obi, I'm really liking the show overall. I think it's really good. I would highly recommend. I told everybody I've been watching it on 1.5 speed, and I would recommend that for really anybody over the age of 18. I think that you can consume the whole show very well at 1.5 speed. There's like 24 hours, I think. If you add up all the time of all the episodes, there's 24 hours of content in this 3-season show. But if you do it at 1.5 speed, it gets it down to like 16. And then towards the end, I'm assuming, you know, for the finales and stuff, you'll want to just watch it in regular time. But it's been really good. I have really enjoyed it. Yeah, end of season 1. That's where they attacked the Northern Water Tribe. That whole episode was awesome. Oh, I really liked the teacher that was like, oh yeah, that whole plot had a sexist subplot as well. Where they were like, oh yeah, the women are the healers and the men are the fighters. And then he just was like, oh, she's a master. She can teach you. By the end of it. Yeah, lots of people like Toph, huh? I've just been introduced to Toph. I've heard Toph is a badass. I know where Toph's storyline generally goes. And so I'm looking forward to that. But yo, when they return to Boomy's town, Boomy's city, and he's like, you got to find somebody who waits and listens before responding. And then Aang notices her, like, I was going to say closing her eyes, but come on. You notice her, like, sensing the seismic vibrations and those circles coming out from her. Oh, dude. Gonna be really badass. Patrick, I am best consumed on 1.5 speed, but I am sorry that I am actually live right now. If you come back later, you can watch it on 1.5 or 2. I think once you get up to 2x, the audio starts sounding weird, but at 1.5, the audio has been fine. Occasionally, the music sounds a little weird, but I have liked that. I mean, vibe. It's very Japanese inspired, very anime inspired, right? I mean, it is anime, I guess. Is it considered anime? Does anime have a hard and fast definition? This has really been... I'm trying to remember. Have we had any other major anime things? Yeah, Battle Fries. I thought that's been really good. The conversations, like basically she's just facing the audience the whole time, but like talking, yelling at Katara. Her and Katara are arguing right now because they're trying to get used to the new person, and she's like, I'll do everything myself. Also, why would I help you? You don't help me. I do everything myself. The eternal question. What's the constant argument? Oh, is it anime? Got it. It's as close to anime that Americans have ever gotten. That is the eternal question. Okay, got it. Okay, so it inherently has to be Japanese animation made by Japanese people. Is that like as close as we can get to that is considered anime? But Avatar is considered anime inspired. Got it. Interesting. Thank you, chat. Yeah, Beefy, I've really liked... There's been a couple of times when she's not standing on ground, and it's the only time you see her at all vulnerable. but she like holds on to somebody's arm when she can't feel what's going on. She's just like, whatever, I'll just grab on, follow around. Really well done. They would consider Avatar anime in Japan? Is this a Scotch versus whiskey? Well, I mean, I think you're saying Scotch versus bourbon, right? It's been really interesting. I've really enjoyed it. I actually think so. Final Fantasy Reveal, I dug really far into a bunch of those stories. Can't dig in as deep because so many of those stories are, you know, talking about this whole show is 24 hours or whatever. Final Fantasy, you've got hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of hours of content to learn. So didn't dig into that as far, but really enjoyed it and loved some of the characters and some of the stories. But this one, I think I'm more drawn to the story and characters from Avatar than I am anything with Final Fantasy. Yeah, Mike, people have been telling me that Zuko Alone's considered one of the best episodes. I got to go back and rewatch it again because some episodes I've, you know, fully focused on and watched, or some I'm like half watching while I'm doing something else. And so that one was one I feel like I want to give my full attention to and really get the intricacies of because people really love it. Anime is also heavily influenced by the West these days. Interesting. But you can tell, right? It's like an East Coast, West Coast hip-hop thing. You can tell the difference. They all sound a lot the same, but you can be like, oh yeah, this sounds very East Coast. Japanese people watching King of the Hill debate subbed or dubbed? That's funny. I mean, talk about excellent voice acting. That show's got some iconic voice acting, and so I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like honestly dubbed would be better for King of the Hill. Unless they found somebody to do a sick impression of some of those characters. Yeah, Chubbs, that's really what I've noticed mostly, is that it is a kid's show. It is written to be consumed by children and them enjoy it thoroughly. But the themes are very adult. The topics are very adult. They handle them with a purity that I've really appreciated. Kind of an innocence. That's what I like about Avatar's character. Aang's character is that he's just a chill guy. He wants to hang out and have fun. But if you push him too far, he will destroy you. Travis, what's up? Nope, no Chat GPT recaps for this one. I'll tell you if I'm using Chat GPT for something. What do I say if someone accuses me of using Chat GPT? Hang on. I gotta get some new answers queued up here. Beefy, I think that it blends pretty straightforward. I think from what we've seen so far, you know, 4 of the colors are fully represented. And then you start to lean into the good and evil aspects of the story. And that's where you get your black introduced. Obi, that was his entire motivation for the first. God, that was a funny scene. Early in season 1, the Fire Nation is trying to track him, and they're like following where he's been going to all the different islands, and they're like, this avatar must be a tactical genius. And he's like, I want to go here and do this, and I want to go here and do this, and it's all just riding animals. The reveal's not until 12:55. I'll text Blake and see if we can start earlier. Travis. They might not even be at work over there in Renton yet. I don't think a Caillou set's gonna happen, wasting time. Queen Bee, what was the storm episode? What was that one about? As long as it happened before episode 27, Zuko alone. That's as far as I've seen. Yeah, of course, Oscar. Right, Chubbs. Black is like everything taken too far, but everything else is really straightforward, like firebending. red. Waterbending, blue. Airbending, white. Earthbending, green. It's just it's perfectly aligned. It dovetails beautifully with all the existing tropes and mechanics of Magic. I haven't played Riftbound at all. My friends who know Riftbound are being very withholding, won't let me learn it, won't teach it to me. I ask constantly. Zuko is the next written character in Avatar? Yeah, everybody's a big Zuko fan, huh? I think I saw somebody asking about, I hope there's a good this commander, I hope there's a good this commander. I gotta say, y'all, they're taking care. Well, Santiago, let's talk about bloodbending. Where do you think bloodbending would fall color pie wise based on what we're talking about? Bending taken too far, water bending taken all the way out, bloodbending. What color do you think that should be? A saga heavy Goosebumps set? That's funny, Riddle. I mean, Chris Cox did say in the last interview that no IP was off the table. There you go. Yeah, no worries, Jurassic. Right, chat. So I feel like y'all get it. Earthbending looks really cool. Here, let's look at some cards. Yeah, I did. So I was flying yesterday. So yeah, and let me answer this. PlayStation drops yesterday. Did everybody get the PlayStation drops they wanted? What sold out before you were able to get it? I know that Ghost of Tsushima sold out. We'll do a little sidestep into PlayStation secret layers for a second here. Professor, no, we're live right now. No, I'm not going to be at Command Fest Tacoma, Travis, but Command Fest Tacoma is major FOMO for me. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Tacoma, Washington is up there near Wizards headquarters. There's a Command Fest up there in the Northwest. Command Fest Tacoma. If y'all are up in the Northwest, make sure y'all go check that one out. Laughing Dragon's putting on a hell of a show up there. They've got some, they're going to have all the regular Magic stuff that you would come to expect from an event like that, but they've also got a bunch of Riftbound events that are tied into that one. If you're interested in Riftbound or you want to go check it out, make sure you go see Command Fest Tacoma if you're up there in the Northwest. Or you want to drive to Tacoma. I feel like some people wake up. There's got to be at least one human being who's woken up today and gone, I got to go to Tacoma this weekend. So maybe they're also a Magic fan. Who knows? Greek God of War. Okay, so did people who wanted Greek God of War get it? Or did you miss it? Anybody here in chat? Full Horizon, non-full Ghost. Oh, Professor, I see. Are you rewatching Avatar first time? It's first time. I watched a couple of weeks ago to get ready for the set. I watched an overview of the entire story. Like one of those, the entire story of Avatar in 40 minutes. One of those kind of things. And I found some time because I traveled this weekend to watch an enormous chunk of it. So I had a good time. B-Hey, what's up? Good to see you. I was in the air during this secret layer drop. I had Dom, Spec, and Jank all on making sure that I got Last of Us Part 1 foil, Last of Us Part 2 foil, so I can build my Joel deck. And we got it. They coordinated while I was in the air. Big shout outs to Spec and Dom and Jank for making that happen. I'm telling you, best way to get secret layers now, have a team. Everybody knows everybody's order. Go look at Garage the Gathering's Instagram. Dom had like 4 screens open. It's insane what we have to do nowadays, but be a big player, you got to make big plays. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, Andy, clear cards. Cards with windows? That's interesting. Ooh, not physically possible. cards with windows in them. So like you could put it over another card and maybe like slide it up or down and see different levels or something like that. Different parts activated. That's kind of like stickers, but it's like backwards stickers. Interesting. Andy, I like that idea. Cards with clear windows or cards with openings? Oh, nice. Yeah, Travis. I think that there is still some available right now, right? It didn't totally sell out. So they either got some Excelente... Oh, my session has expired for security reasons. Okay, hang on. Let me go back here so it's not like, hey, here's Joel's address. Also, his social security number. There we go. I could still get these. I didn't even need a team, chat. Norse foil still available. 12 more days left on this Play-Doh layer if y'all want that one. Foil Uncharted available. Foil Horizon is low stock. Oh yeah, clear could be reversible. That's true. God of War Ragnarok. So like pretty much everything except for Greek and Ghost of Tsushima is still available. Here we go. Just the PlayStation Super Drop, please. Okay, so the bundles aren't going to be available because, here we go. Secret Lair Ghost of Tsushima is completely sold out, and Secret Lair God of War Greek is completely sold out. Literally everything else is available. Wow. Good. I mean, if they're going to do a print to demand, make enough for everybody, yo. SLDs with Joel in them seem less popular. Yeah, I mean, I took it as SLDs with Pedro Pascal in it. I think everybody's just kind of over Pedro Pascal. I don't know why we have to put him in every movie and every card game. But I do like the Joel ruined it theory. That theory holds a lot of water in different arenas, so it could apply here for sure. Beefy, so you're talking about lenticular cards? Oh my god, dude. No, I was looking at it from this angle, Judge, not this angle. I was looking at it from over here. I didn't look at it from over here, Judge. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe. Be kind of cool. Secret Lair lenticular card? I would get a Secret Lair of some like lenticular lands. Norse God of War had the highest printing. Oh, got you. Is that the most recent game? Ghost of Tsushima is the most recent, right? Austin, yeah. If y'all go check out Gafford's YouTube channel, Travis released a video yesterday, I believe, reviewing the Worlds Bundle Law review. Travis? Let me see if I can just find it straight up. A year ago? 2 years ago? Maybe it was just on your Twitter. Yeah, it wasn't on... wasn't on your main channel. Oh, interesting. Zach, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah, the token being the 5th card's kind of annoying. On the Secret Lair Last of Us drops. I'm hoping for a really good secret card. Have we seen the secret cards for Last of Us yet? I know we saw it for Ghost of Tsushima. I made and released a short out of that video, and by the time the short was out, the secret card was known. Yeah, Eric, I don't know. I would assume that we're going to get an Avatar Secret Lair at some point in November as part of the, probably, maybe the anniversary countdown thing will be a one-off. But, yo, it's like, it's getting tough to justify another $200, another $200, another $200. I know, knowing too that we got Lorwyn on the horizon, and we got TMNT right after that. And then Marvel, which is going to be the set I hopefully spend the most money on next year. I said that about Spider-Man, but turns out you could get the entire set of Spider-Man pretty easily. Minus like the few chases that they had, the suits and the stone. Hey, I need some crowns in chat. The monarch has entered the throne room and no one has dropped a crown in chat yet. Zach G, new stream monarch. Thank you very much, Zach G. All hail your stream monarch. All hail. Crowns in chat. Needed a team to get 1 SL yesterday, but we did it. That's right, Zach. You got to have a team. That's how it goes. Laugh, good to see you. Brad, and that's the thing, man. Yes, the Urza Saga art looks awesome. I'm out of money. Kind of want it. Out of money. Austin, I would assume that X-Men... I mean, I don't know, Austin. My theory on how they were going to handle the Marvel sets was they'll do Spider-Man, and then we'll get Avengers, and then we'll get X-Men, and then we'll get, you know, probably like Guardians of the Galaxy to be all of the cosmic stuff, and then probably like Doctor Strange to be all of the magic stuff. But the first full set that they announced was called Superheroes, and Rosewater goes, if you can think of a Marvel character, it's probably in here. And I was like, oh, okay, so they're not dividing this up at all. I guess we'll see, because those two things are, I mean, he claimed that every character is already in the set, but we know that there's going to be 4 more sets after this, so who knows? Jank, I knew I was going to be asking, I knew I was going to be asked a lot today. So, right here. I am through episode 27, Zuko alone. He's a very sad, dishonored boy. I'm doing just fine, Travis. I've got a sugar mama. I'm out of money to spend on magic. Yeah. That's what actually gets me. When I get invited to be ambassador, it's because they're like, I really love the way you mock Mark Rosewater, Joel. If I'm gonna do the full thing though, I gotta go get my white New Balances out. Yeah, Zuko's been really funny just throughout, man. I mean, not Zuko. I'm talking about Sokka. Zuko's hilarious in season 3. Got you. Celis, from what I can tell, the Marvel set next year is going to be a full set. And I think that's how they talked about it at the reveal. We got 21 minutes until this video debuts. Let me tell you how this is going to go, chat, if you're watching live. We might pause. We might talk over this. We might go look stuff up. We'll probably watch the debut video and then go right over to their Twitch, because then they'll have like... So they'll have a very interesting, like 10-minute, 15-minute video. And then they will have a more boring, slow conversational style where they talk about like, oh, here's all the design philosophies in the world. And then they'll start showing us cards to reiterate some mechanics. And then we might get a little booster fun and then a little tease at the end of that one. Travis, this Halloween I'm dressing up as Tired Father. Tired Father who... Tired Father. Done. Byleth, have they confirmed that as a Phyrexian altar yet? I haven't seen that confirmation. Devin, a lot of times it's like 80-20, 90-10, where you'll have specific main cards to the layer, but they'll have potential variations. For instance, the Spider-Man secret layers came with a couple of different cards, Harmonize being one, Brainstorm being one, and you could have gotten this in like a black and white sketch version and the full color version as the secret card, and it could have been any of those cards in that. So yes, it was from a specific group of cards, but there's a little bit of randomness to it as well. A lot of times with these IP crossovers, they will be specific, but it's, we also saw that they did a PlayStation promo of, oh, it was a weird one. I didn't like it. The clown head car from, it's not Vigilante, but what's the other game? Twisted Metal. Man, my brain is not working today. I played a lot of Vigilante growing up. I didn't play Twisted Metal, but that's a story for another day. We saw that they did that promo as the bonus. You cross a certain threshold of money toss in inclusion. And so maybe the secret cards are PlayStation themed and not themed to the game, or maybe there's like a different set of games that they've themed the bonus cards around. But I know that we've seen the Ghost of Tsushima special card, right? And so I think that, yeah, I think that probably means they're going to be tied to the games, hopefully. Sweet Tooth, yeah, that's right, Austin. Yeah, dude, the you spent a lot of money promo. Here you go, kid. Here's some more cardboard. Good job buying cardboard. Here's more cardboard promo. I think you should have an avatar costume. Which character would I pick? If I had to dress up as an avatar character, maybe Zuko. Is there a blonde? I might just do Zuko and like do a big eye scar thing. Trying to think if there's a blonde. Oh, maybe the minstrel. Who's the guy that sings Secret Tunnel? Jank, you know his character's name. I forgot the rest of the lines, but it goes something like this. Secret Tunnel! Secret Tunnel! That was a good episode. And it's so funny that that's such a big meme, and it is like that much of that one moment of that episode. No blondies in Avatar because no whiteys in Avatar. Got it. That makes sense. Well, I mean, okay, whatever. No naturally blonde people. Got it. That makes sense. So probably Zuko. I like Zuko and Sokka. They're pretty fun characters, man. Most of the characters in this are good. That is something that I like about it. There's not an annoying character. A lot of these types of shows have characters that are super, at least one in the main bunch, that are super annoying. Does Legend of Korra have an annoying character? Dressing as an avatar character is problematic. Well, I will say, I was like, oh, I could be Fire Lord Ozai, but I did try to choose somebody that I would not be appropriating anything. That's funny, Richard. Yeah, but that character too, that's another good a good example of the quality of voice acting in this show. That minstrel character, he comes back a couple of times, but in that episode in particular, where he was more heavily featured, the voice acting is just so good. Oh, Korra is just annoying. Legend of Korra is just annoying, period. I was watching, or I read an article comparing the two, and they were like, yeah, I mean, Avatar is more Aang is more defensive with his magic, and he uses it to, like, you know, stop people, slow people down. Kind of Harry Potter, you know, what's it called? Disarm move. That's all he used. But Korra's more aggressive, more offensive with her bending. But they said that the difference is that Team Aang is like goated, and Team Korra is just awful. I don't know anything about it, but that's what I read. Is that Aang's team is the sickest ever, and Korra's team is like, what are we doing? Worthless. Her bending. I didn't call it magic. I tried to. If it was a mistake, it's bending. It's a martial art. It's not magic. A 10 out of 10 versus a 7 out of 10. Wow, what is so different? Why is Legend of Korra so annoying? Travis, we'll just go on a cancellation retreat. Maybe we can knock it all out in 1 week. The crew. Korra gets more character development than Aang. I could see that. Aang's character, he learns some stuff. No, yeah, he develops over time. He does. Got it. So you don't think they'll ever do like a Legend of Korra set straight up as a follow-up to the Avatar set? I mean, bloodbending is a huge part of the show, Austin, so I would assume that we're going to get some bloodbending cards. Nickelodeon messed up Legend of Korra. Got it. Got it. Tezrek said Korra's a girl boss. You can do everything by herself from the start. But, I mean, I will say, not to defend the whole, what do they call that? Mary Sue character kind of thing. Aang is like, he is sick as hell. He ain't even tired. He ain't even like, I've been sleeping a long time when he wakes up. Aang is like a badass from jump. Nobody can touch him the entire first season almost. I want to say it wasn't until, I mean, even the assassin that was on that mole thing with the stun tongue, like he dealt with her pretty easily. The only thing was there was like two of them, so he had to fight two people at once, the mount and the assassin. Oh wow. So Korra just kept getting drug out. Got it. Interesting. Yes. Yeah, Travis, it does have the extra legs attachment. I like that it gets it up off the ground. Makes it feel a little bit more like a nicer shelf than the like $125 shelf, whatever it is. But this is a Calyx. I think most Magic players know the Calyx with the leg attachment. That's because I'm fancy. Mark Hamill is Firelord Ozai? I didn't even know that. You don't get much. I haven't gotten much Ozai so far. One episode, basically the episode that I just finished, Zuko Alone, was the most that we've gotten Firelord Ozai so far, outside of like one line, two lines. Like he got that tease line at the end of season 1 where he was like, my daughter, you have to go and, you know, do this for me because Zuko's useless. There we go, Chatsky. 12 minutes. 12 minutes till new cards. Oh, okay, got it. So it's going to become very... Got it. Yeah. I'll go... Is that Mark Hamill? I assumed it was going to be a much bigger character. He's just that... It's that trope, right? We only see the bad guy in shadow for the first 2 seasons, and then he becomes like a main character. These are Toast Chi peanut butter crackers, Trev. Lance, Toast Chi, peanut butter crackers. They advertise that there's 5 grams of protein in there, but you know, not why I'm eating them. You know what I'm saying? Not why I'm eating them. Chat BRB. Trav. Oh, don't retract messages as I'm getting back, Trav. What did it say? Trav, I wanted to ask you, do we know, I looked it up online and it hasn't been announced yet. Do we know the Command Fest schedule even generally for the beginning of off-brand crackers? Lance is the brand, bro. Come on, get out of here. You're gonna get banned. Do we know the Command Fest general schedule for Q1 of next year? I noticed that, and you said this to me as I was leaving, MagicCon 2026. That first con isn't until May? Yeah, May. January, February, March, April. So those first 4 months of the year, if there's a Command Fest or something, maybe we can fix what we were talking about. Got 9 minutes left, chat. And then we're going to see some cards. Some new avatar chords. Got some cool stuff to go over in this stream for sure. Should be a good one. Should be a good one. Korra ruined the lore? Technology level? Mystery of the avatar cycle? Oh, lightning bending? Yeah, I mean, what's her face was the first time that we saw the lightning bending, right? Oh, I think we did see a shot of Ozai maybe lightning bending. Yeah, Sergio, I got the two I wanted. Somebody got them for me, but I got them. And they're still available now. I could have gotten them myself, but you never know with Secret Lair nowadays. My favorite character so far? I'm probably Aang. I really like Aang's character. I just really love that trope of the chill guy who wants everybody to be friends and calm down, but if you push him too far, he's gonna crush you. Also, Sokka's way funnier than I thought he was gonna be. At first, I thought he was gonna be annoying, but he has made me laugh. Yeah, Travis, that's what I thought. Why? They've already announced all the cons, just whatever. Yeah, Sergio, I saw that one sold out and the Ghost one sold out pretty fast. It seems generally, though, like this Secret Lair went better than the last one. It seemed like there was more availability. Yeah, Tron, it's all like further variations, taking the bending, taking the martial art out to its furthest, you know, furthest strength. Yeah, Carnold, I agree, but we also got to see where that underlying disrespect he had for women, well, what we view as disrespect, but they view as very normal, came from. When we went to the Northern Water Tribe, that guy was like insulted that Katara wanted to learn anything besides healing. And it was kind of interesting because they had just taught Katara that she could heal, and then flipped it on its side. It's like, oh yeah, because that's what the women do. So it was like this sick new skill she had, and then because of societal norms it got turned on its head, but then she turned it back on its head, and by the end of the episode the dude was calling her a master. It was just a good show. Queen Honey, what's up? Good to see you. Food time. Yeah, I think Uncle Iroh is probably, I want to see where his character goes, because right now, even though I love him and I identify with him a lot, very one note so far. But we've been getting hints. Like we just learned in the last episode I watched, we just learned why he gave up at Ba Sing Se, why he wasn't interested in it anymore. Stand up, dude. You got to stand up, Travis. You got to stretch around. You gotta do some of those arm swings. Have you seen that exercise? You just gotta swing your arms. But yeah, Carnal, I really love the story. I love how they take the tropes and the, you know, normal storylines. You've seen a bunch of the stories a lot of times, but this show does a really good job of like twisting it and then twisting it and then twisting it and looking at it from different angles. Really love that. Yeah, it does, Wes. It really does. That is one of the main things I've noticed, is that there's not really that annoying character. The humor is not annoying. Even when they have like slapstick bits, I feel like they earn it. They get there, or it comes out of nowhere to like balance out a really deep moment. And so it's all earned and all feels like part of the machine. It's not, oh yeah, you should watch Avatar, but just get the humor takes some getting used to. There's nothing like that with this show. It's all pretty funny. No, Devin, I think there's much more depth to Avatar for a full set of Magic the Gathering cards than there is to just the IP Spider-Man, especially when you don't organize it around one primary story. Yeah, the Spider Multiverse is a story. I was talking about this weekend with somebody, but like the Spider-Verse is a story, but that set we didn't put it around any character. We didn't make the story the central part of the set. And I think even for the people that hate lore, it carries a set and gives it that foundational life that a set needs to have just one, even if it's stupid. Look at Murders at Karlov Manor. Even if it just has one storyline thread through it, it helps everybody kind of connect to the set at different points. It just helps overall. And I think that's it's one of those like subliminal things in a major way. I think so. If Spider-Man is over, we'll do it this way. If Spider-Man is over here and Final Fantasy's over here, I honestly think that Avatar could hit in here. I don't think it's as big of a IP as Final Fantasy overall, so I don't think that we're going to get the fervor around it. And from what we've seen so far, there's no serialized card, so we're not going to get that fervor around it. And further, about the fervor, we're coming off Spider-Man. Everybody hated Spider-Man. Spider-Man was a real low note. And so I think Avatar's got a lot going against it, but I think that the IP's like tone and sort of pure approach to their world and how well it dovetails with Magic the Gathering in the existing power systems and tones and themes, I think it's going to be a huge success. Fervor. Further about the fervor. So all of those things combined, I don't think it's going to get the same amount of attention that Final Fantasy does, but it could surprise us. Oh, another thing going against it, no commander decks. I really think that having commander decks is underpinning. It's that is, again, foundational stuff for a set. I think a set, regardless of if people care or not, needs a through line story. And precons really help the entire ecosystem because that gives literally everybody an entrance point, easy entrance point, and it entices us to go pick up special treatments from the set because we're going to want specific cards that go well in the precons because you know how they design it, where this card from the secret layer goes in this precon and this card from the main set in this treatment and this foil goes in the precon and matches this, right? Like that architecture underneath a set is so good at lifting a set up. It's such a bummer to me that that's not a major priority for them anymore, because I think that is what will be missing from a set like this, is that the Avatar fans can't go buy a commander deck of Aang or Zuko or Katara or Sokka. You probably wouldn't do... Who would be the 4 precon commanders? Aang, Zuko, Katara, probably just the gang. Atla Limited is going to be super dope, Queen. I've got more to say on that later. But I agree. Limited Atla is going to be awesome. The mechanics are dope. The mechanics are really fun. They've done a great job of representing it. If you're firebending, you need more instant spells than you thought. Toph? Yeah. Obi, that's a good call. Oh, Iroh, that's a good call too. But Iroh would probably be in the Zuko deck. And if we're going to do a Fire Nation deck... Okay, so that's a good way of looking at it. So... Water, definitely Katara. Earth, definitely Toph. Fire, definitely Zuko. And then air, definitely air. Yeah, Aang. So, probably the gang. Probably the team, right? Yeah, there you go, Jank. We got there. I got there. Thank you, chat. Oh, yeah, Spec. That's a really good idea. Yes, will you message me the date if I'm in town? Next time I'm out of town is... Oh, next weekend I'm going to the mountains. We are getting out of town completely and unplugging for a little bit before we do Q4. Or the rest of Q4. And then... Oh, middle of November, I'm going... November 15th weekend, I'm going back to Los Angeles to batch film a bunch of episodes of Garage. Right, Jank, that's what I think. I think that the Iroh would be in the Zuko. I think that all of your, like, Momo and who's the, do you hear that music, chat? Appa? Appa. The other thing? Yeah, Firelord Ozai is definitely Rakdos, dude. Just from the couple of scenes I've gotten from him. Obviously red because firebending, but like... TFTI, I'm not sure. What does TFTI stand for? Nico, that 15th is the pre-release weekend? Sorry about the double music there for a second, chat. There you go, Trav. Oh, dude, noon on Saturday? Can you not do it midday? We're supposed to be there shooting all weekend. And we're definitely going to cannibalize people from that, probably. Definitely, probably. All right, chat. Let's do this one. Boom. I did not mute the right thing. I muted the music so you could hear me cough. Claff. Chat, I'm doing my best today. My brain is barely working. I don't know how I've said so many coherent things so far. Have I been coherent? Am I just completely hallucinating that I'm coherent and I'm going to look back at this VOD and it's going to be... Damn, that's the pre-release weekend spec? Okay, well, we'll look at it. Maybe there'll be another event. Yeah, insane for sure. Yeah, I would have been making... the last couple weeks has just been so insanely busy. But we're into Avatar now, and we're going to get some stuff going. Travis, we need to get into our group chat with Dominic and plan that, because I want those two things to handshake nicely. Maybe we can make it a thing. That'd be kind of fun. Well, fine. Yeah, Spec, I'd like to do that. I was just asking Trav what are the command fresh for beginning of next year. We don't know. Be kind of cool to do like a patron convention, like a jam community convention somewhere central. Go to like Kansas City. Yeah, Zom, haven't we already seen some Wooburg? Yeah, Avatar Aang. Flip card, Master of Elements. 5 colors. Jam and Commander. Commander Jam. Oh, a Commander Jam. How cute. Ooh, everybody brings a $20 Commander deck. You get your assigned person in advance so you can know their like preferences and what decks they have, don't have. Coherent enough? Good, Morgan. Honestly, coherent enough is what I'm aiming for. Oh yeah, Brad, I know. 7 months in advance. By the way, yeah, if you're an MTG creator and you haven't applied for Vegas next May, that application is already up and the deadline is next week. So go do that. Yes, it's 7 months in advance. My avatar of Discord is hip to trip. I'm not cool enough to get any of that, Travis. I don't understand what a single word about that sentence. I know the words individually, but in that order, I am so lost. Ooh, White Elephant Commander deck exchange. So it's got to be, it's still got to be like a working Commander deck. Battle Fries. Yeah, this one starts right now. Here we go, chat. Let's see some Avatar cards. Tell me if the volume or anything's not working for you.
Hello, Dante Bosco here. As the voice of Zuko on Avatar The Last Airbender, I'm excited to share with you that the Avatar is coming to Magic the Gathering. This new card set captures all your favorite elements from the iconic show. From lifelong friendships to fantastic creatures and epic elemental bending moments.
Rand and Shaw.
Dramatic duels for the fate of the world, and unexpected allies that are made along the way. Although, I believed in that Zuko guy all along. Avatar Aang has re-emerged after 100 years frozen in ice to find the
Zuko
world he
voice.
once knew torn apart by violence. With the air nomads who raised him extinguished at the hands of the Fire Nation, Aang strives to maintain their legacy while ensuring the other
Aang
nations
at the crossroads,
do not suffer from
Aang
the same
destined
fate.
survivor.
But in order to restore the balance to the people of the world, Aang will have to master all four
And
elements.
there's Avatar Aang.
Only with his full power unlocked will the Avatar stand a chance against the mighty Fire Lord and his minions. Through his journey, Aang grows to become a mythic master.
Look at that.
of
So we got,
elements.
like,
his cards show
versions
this
of
evolution,
Aang up the
tracking his progress
storyline.
until he finally masters
Oh yeah,
all
we're gonna
four
go back.
elements.
Chat, so there are
though his
just like
power is
rapid
great,
firing cards
Aang's
right
not
now.
alone in his
We're gonna go back and look at all
The
these.
Avatar has gathered loyal allies to help him. Katara is a waterbender from the Southern Water Tribe. She and her brother Sokka were the first to discover that Aang was still alive and frozen in ice. And the siblings would prove his most loyal and constant companions. Katara's brother Sokka may not have her skill with waterbending.
Look at that
but he used
three-color
his
Sokka.
tactical
Menace,
know-how
prowess,
to hatch
3/3.
many of
Allies
Team
you control have
Avatar's
menace and
plans.
prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature, create an ally.
When Aang meets Toph, she's already a legendary earthbender as the Blind Bandit. Once she joins Aang, Toph invents a totally new form of bending, metal bending. By the time they're ready to face the Fire Lord, Aang's friends had grown in strength as much as he had. And in the process, they were even able to add some former enemies to their cause. Zuko, the crown prince of the Fire Nation, was once tasked with hunting down Aang and destroying him. But instead, Zuko embraced Aang's mission and even became Aang's firebending teacher. He also had an incredible voice. That's what I hear anyway. Zuko was redeemed through his mentorship with his uncle
Iroh Grand
This
Lotus,
wise warrior led
3-color
secret
Iroh,
society of
baby!
sages, the White
Firebending
Lotus,
2,
which
each
remained
non-lesson
dedicated to
instant
cooperation
sorcery
between
flashback equal
nations,
to its mana
even in
cost,
the
and during
midst
your
of war.
turn, each lesson card in your
He
graveyard has
also had a passion
flashback
for hot
1
leaf juice.
colorless.
I mean, tea. Aang may have had
Lesson
to defeat
kindred?
Fire Lord Ozai in order to save the world, but he had other enemies to overcome first. When Zuko failed to capture the Avatar, his
3-color
sister,
Fire Lord
Azula,
Azula,
was dispatched
4/4
by their father
Firebending
to hunt down
2.
the Avatar.
Whenever you cast a spell
And
while Fire
Zuko.
Lord Azula is attacking,
Not cool.
copy it.
Just as Aang
And
and
that's
his friends grew
permanents, too.
stronger, so did their
Yo.
enemies. Azula ended up becoming the Fire Lord herself. The Fire Nation Navy also sported a fearsome leader in the form
Oh.
of Admiral Zhao.
Zhao
who was willing
is
to
another
disrupt the
cool
moon and
character.
tides themselves in order to give the Fire Nation an advantage.
Yeah, that I forgot
One
about
of the
that
most
whole
unique
storyline
and
at the end
celebrated
of season
aspects of
1.
the world of Avatar.
Him turning off the
Hybrid
moon.
animals are fusions of two different creatures from our world. The Badger moles are combinations of
Badger Mole
badgers
Cub,
and
1
moles.
green, 1 other,
Fearsome
2/2. When it
but have a
enters
fondness for
Earthbend 1,
music.
whenever you tap a
pair of
creature for
badger
mana,
moles
add
taught
an
young
additional
Toph
green.
How to earthbend, giving her a head start on her road to becoming an earthbending prodigy.
Oh.
Avatar Aang had a strong soft spot for animals throughout his
Oh,
travels.
man.
In addition to his companions Appa and Momo, Aang takes care to improve the living conditions of many animals in the Ba Sing Se Zoo. From the dragonflies to the
5-mana
rambunctious
plane
rabbit
cycling
roos,
creatures at
Aang
common.
looks out for all the creatures, big and
Hopefully
small.
one of those for each type. That's pretty consistent.
The world of Avatar: The Last Airbender
Yeah,
is
Fire
built
Lord
around the
Azula is
ability
crazy,
some people
right?
have to bend the elements around them. Though the Avatar is the only one being capable of bending all 4, entire nations have risen based on the bending of single elements. Magic the Gathering has brought these familiar forms of bending into the game with their own unique mechanics. Waterbenders learn their
Art
art
looks
from
good,
the
y'all.
spirits of the moon and ocean.
looks like
and
it
form the
fits. It looks like
southern and
magic.
northern water tribes. This bending type manifests as an effect. While paying a water bend cost, you can tap
I know
your
that's Travis's
artifacts
favorite
and
thing for
creatures
Magic
to
creators
help.
to say.
Each one
Man, this
pays
feels
for
like
1 mana.
this just feels like magic,
Earthbending,
dude.
pioneered by the
Dude, this
Badger
just feels
moles,
like
is
magic.
the natural element of the Earth Kingdom, It allows you to use the land itself.
Badger moles
In
being the
game,
original earthbenders, I thought that was pretty funny.
enables you to turn a land you control into a 0/0 creature with haste while
Magus,
keeping
calm
it
down.
as a land.
Take a breath.
You then put X+1/+1 counters on it, where X is the earthbending value.
Yeah, the art looks really
when
great.
When that creature dies or is exiled, return the land to the battlefield tapped. Fire is the element of passion and life.
Earthbending's a strong mechanic, y'all. Those counters can go on a land that's already been earthbent. So you can just grow it like army, or like a...
Add red mana.
What's that zombie army called?
Value.
Is that what it is?
This mana lasts until the end of combat. Airbending, like its element, is an elusive and tricky martial art.
And then
In
airbending,
this set, when
dude,
you airbend a permanent,
just exiling something away. They can
while it is
recast it for
exiled,
2,
its owner
but
may cast it for 2 rather than its mana cost.
so strong. Airbend your
Saga
things,
cards
airbend
are a
their
returning
things.
mechanic which tells the story of Avatar: The Last Airbender. These cards unspool the story over
Lots
each
of good sagas in this set
Careful
too.
though. Some of these stories are bound to
Terra
make you
players are
tear
gonna
bend.
have some stuff to look at.
Double-faced sagas
They're
have
not
also
creatures
returned.
on the
Once
front.
you reach the
They're
final
creatures on the
chapter,
back.
the saga is exiled and returned to the battlefield
Waterbend
as a
20.
legendary creature whose
Oh,
story
Exhaust
was
is
told.
back.
In this case, one of the avatars who
Oh,
preceded
RJ,
Aang,
Earthbending in a
the
Black
mighty
Panther deck is going to be
waterbender Karuk.
sick.
Avatar Aang was also able to draw on assistance from his friends and people from other nations in
There's
his fight
Boomy.
against the Fire Lord. Celebrating this,
Once he
the
drops
Last
the
Airbender
act.
set returns the ally creature subtype. With this enchantment, empower your allies, and for each player you deal combat damage to, draw a card. Avatar Aang and his friends were also forced to learn many hard lessons over the course of their journey. Lesson is a returning spell
Azula
subtype down on
always
instants
lies.
and sorceries. With this card, you can weaken one creature
That was in
or
the
buff
episode I
another,
just watched.
or you may choose to do
He
both.
was just laying there going, Azula always lies. Azula
This
always
set
lies.
also has many art and frame treatments.
Yo, Raka
showing
and
off the
Stommel
unique
art
style of the world
in this
of Avatar:
set?
The Last Airbender.
Hell yes.
Borderless Field Notes cards allows you to appreciate the creatures of Avatar,
treatment looks
from the
good,
mighty
too.
dragons to the little badger mole cubs. Meanwhile, borderless battle postcards
Yo,
highlight
look at
the
that
martial
Fire Lord
fury of these
Azula.
benders. And things are taken one step further with a neon ink borderless battle pose. Zuko has never looked so fearsome. There are also borderless elemental frame cards, highlighting
These
the
look
element
really
of each
good.
character.
I think these in foil will be what a lot of people want as their commander.
The borderless double-faced saga cards shine a spotlight on both sides of these cards, giving you twice the
And
opportunity
yeah,
to admire
we get the
these
other
moments of
avatars through
Avatar.
sagas. So it's like we tell the story
This
and then we
card
get
type
the
also
avatar.
includes Avatar Aang in a borderless raised foil, with art from one of the creators of Avatar, Brian Konietzko himself. Borderless source material cards reprint actual frames of Avatar: The Last Airbender on the card itself.
Some of these are great,
Here,
some of these are not.
Tui
There's a
and
Mystic
Law, the
Remora.
spirits of the moon and ocean are reprinted on a Mystic Remora card. Or a close-up of Ozai. He literally burned Zuko's face to teach him a lesson. Talk about a cruel tutor. These cards let you appreciate moments from the show as they actually happened. From the first meeting of Aang and his trusty air bison Appa, to the very first glimpse of Aang himself. For those familiar with the world of Avatar,
The Boy in
who are
the
hoping to
Ice
get into
is
magic,
a reprint
look
of
no
Merit
further.
Lage.
The beginner
Gotta
box
have
is
an
everything you
avatar
need to
token of
play.
Merit Lage, right?
This box is the perfect introduction to the rules of the game, teaching you as you go and containing everything
I've
you
heard
need
from
to
some
play
people
with a
that these
friend.
beginner boxes are
You don't
really
need to buy
good at
anything
teaching
else
new
for
people.
learning magic. Coming with Jumpstart decks, you can play out of the box, along with a game map to play on and an easy-to-use guide. The beginner box allows you to dive into the world of Avatar with ease.
Yeah, everybody gets a
And
Everybody
there are more
gets a
easy ways
heroic
to play.
intervention.
The Jumpstart packs allow you to select any two of these 61 unique packs to open. By mixing your two packs together, you can create a ready-to-play deck with one of 46 mixed themes. That's a lot of options. Whether you're drawn to a non-bender human with martial abilities,
equipment spells
like
you cast
Sokka
cost
and
one
his
less
skill
to
with a
cast for
space
each
sword,
ally you control.
or fearsome spirits like Wan Shi
Oh,
Tong,
there's Wan Shi
who
Tong.
collects knowledge from his spirit library. There's also lots of variety within each element. Fire can come in a vicious and deadly form as used by Azula, who is able to shoot lightning from her fingertips. But can also be a more balanced and life-affirming form as wielded by Avatar Roku, the avatar before Aang.
Whenever a player
Or in
attacks,
nature,
add
like the
6.
bending used by Avatar Roku's animal companion, the Dragon Fang. Just as Badgermoles invented earthbending, dragons were the original firebenders. I personally wouldn't put any pressure on you, but you can't go wrong with Zuko. He is a firebending master after all. The spirit world also has a great variety.
Oh, nice. And the little
Heibai has little in
Heibai
common with
5 color.
One-Chi
For each
Tong,
legendary enchantment you
although
control, create a
both
1/1
can be
spirit
intimidating
token.
when provoked by humans. So if you plan on messing with his
Interesting.
spirit,
Another shrine
watch out.
commander.
If you are drawn to earthbending, you can play as another of Aang's past lives, Avatar Kyoshi. The Avatar
Earthbend
before Roku
8?
was so fearsome in life that even 2 lifetimes later, Aang was still being accused of murder on her behalf. And no earthbending deck would be complete without the self-identified greatest earthbender in the world, Toph. The Jumpstart packs also include
Wow.
reprints of
Oh, good
existing
reprints
cards
there.
remade in the Avatar style.
Get some Descendants path going.
There aren't any dedicated commander decks for the Last Airbender set. Instead, there will be a commander bundle, which contains 9 14-card play boosters, 2
The
of 10
Commander Bundle.
booster fun cards, and more.
Yeah, she's a hexproof 6/6
Each
that
bundle
brings in
also
an
comes with
8/8.
special versions of Arcane Signet,
There's the Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, and Swiftfoot boots.
boots. These staple cards capture moments from the show in the beautiful borderless elemental frame treatment. With so many incredible moments to choose from in the show, it was hard to narrow it down to just 2 amazing scene boxes to include in the set. Katara's reversal shows Katara a mid-waterbending move, but once the other cards are added, they show the invasion on the day of the Black Sun. Between Sokka and Katara's dad Hakoda, leading his forces on the beaches, to Appa in his full armor,
Yo.
to the unexpected return of the Swamp Benders.
The scene boxes have
This
been one of
scene
my
has
favorite
endless detail to be
sort of like
admired.
modern things that they're
And though
doing.
the Day of the Black Sun
I really
did
like
not
these.
result in a
I've got
victory
the
for Team
Spider-Man one back
Avatar,
here. It's really cool.
there are brighter days ahead.
And I didn't like it when I saw it
One of
first.
which was captured in the next scene. Sokka and Suki are one of the iconic romantic pairs in Avatar. Though they start out at odds, their relationship blossoms
Just
through the
Kai equipment?
series, culminating in them reuniting and helping defeat the Fire Lord together. This scene portrays the happy ending for other couples as well. Once the Fire Lord has been defeated, there's plenty of time for romance. Here we have Aang and Katara, and Zuko and Mei. Of course Zuko found love. Like I said, probably something to do with his voice. This scene captures the victorious moment at the end of the series where we leave the Aang gang ushering a new moment of peace and prosperity. You don't need to wait until the official release date to get in on the action. You can play early at your local game store for pre-release starting the weekend of November 15th and 16th. This set features 5 different seeded pre-release packs, each with its own element and theme cards inside. So, even if you're new to Magic, you can know that you'll get to play with your favorite element. Check your local game store and sign up for the pre-release box of your choice.
Seeded pre-release
There will
kits is
also
pretty
be
sweet
social
for this.
events
Love
like
those.
a monthly 2-headed giant Commander
Monthly.
Night, Commander Party, and Commander Box
Spec-
League. Each with an opportunity to get exclusive cards.
Commander Box
like
League.
this one, showing Sokka and Katara with their beloved Grand.
Aww. A grand promo.
My cabbages! This version of the Cabbage Merchant, who might consider the Avatar gang his greatest enemies, will be available exclusively at Magic Presents Master the 4 Elements. This set will also be available on Arena on November 18th. Tune in on November 12th to watch Magic streamers play the newest cards. Otherwise, start your own bending adventure
End of the
on
month.
November 21st when The Last Airbender will be available everywhere. I am so excited to join the world of Magic the Gathering and hope you'll join me in playing this new set. If you can't, well, that's rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy. They said the thing, chat. That's rough, buddy. All right, so that was a lot. And now what'll happen is we'll go over to the Twitch, and I'm assuming that right after this ad, we will get more of the reveals and some extra cards. Oh yeah, here we go.
Devaney, welcome. Real quick before we dive into stuff, tell us a little bit about your work on this set.
Yeah, so
Oh.
I'm senior game designer, and I
Like, why are they
was
playing
the lead
music?
designer for this set. So in kind of an unusual spot, I was the lead.
Chat, so
for
basically
exploratory
now
vision and
Blake, the
exercise.
PR guy, is
I
going
really
to
like
hang
this
out
set.
with the designers of the set. They'll
Set
reveal
very
some
unique
cards. They're going
in
to
my
talk
mind.
about some stuff. We can kind of chat over this and we'll hear them or not. I saw somebody ask, does firebending affect color identity? It does not. It is a lot like extort, I believe. Extort is, if they put a portion in the Toyotathon secret layer, Travis, I'm definitely in. But I feel like Toyotathon's not going to have a lot of rights to different cars.
Talking more about the mechanics and characters and just amazing stuff in this set. Some people have already noticed these sweet things that we're wearing.
Got some clothing.
This is a line of merchandise coming from Box Lunch. They are launching an exclusive Magic the Gathering and Avatar The Last Airbender capsule collection starting November 21st, the same day.
All right, Box Lunch is releasing some clothes if you want some Avatar Magic clothes. Yeah, right, Randy, it's reminder text. So firebending as a mechanic doesn't make you red identity. But I believe there are cards that have like red in the text.
Alongside the trading card game, which is also going to be available at
No. Let's go to the Avatar set.
As a bonus, if you shop in store on November 21st when it releases,
Isn't there like a Fire Lord?
you can get an exclusive limited edition promo card if you spend $50
Like this,
or more
like red
on
is in Zuko's
eligible,
ability.
Avatar The Last Airbender merchandise, like again, like a sweet jersey, or on Magic Gathering cards. The featured character is a surprise. We're not showing that off today, but stay tuned. You can check out at Box Lunch.
No, I thought there was a card that had
social medias. To get more release news, or you can head to boxlunch.com to explore your favorite fandom.
Real quick, I just want to say
the guy in orange is Devin Dillany. That dude
earlier this week
was one of the head designers on Final Fantasy. So
these things that normally would be kind of
seeing him on a set is a good thing.
Trim here on this. That
Dylan is
the
dope.
elemental symbols and
He
the
cares.
mana symbols, and I really like the nice touch. It is in Wooburg order, and it is in the Avatar cycle order. So the Box Lunch folks really put a lot of attention to detail that I think fans appreciate. I certainly appreciate it as a fan, where I'm always like, how could you get the order wrong? It was just awesome to see that they'd really paid attention.
Got
to that
it
kind
right.
Of stuff. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now with that, you can look at these the entire show, but we are going to talk about some sweet cards.
Sweet cards
gets a lot of the headlines, but we're going to actually spend a lot of time on lessons and allies. And yes, there will be more bending. We will talk more about several bending abilities. But I wanted to focus on lessons to start. So Chris, lessons are a little bit different in this set than we've had them in the past. What is kind of their role in the set overall?
Yeah, so really where it came from was, when we were thinking about what
Gotcha, Trev.
felt natural in the world of Avatar, what were sort of the themes beyond bending. Obviously, bending came first when we were developing the set, but we were like,
Chris has been on quite a few
it doesn't
sets
just
too.
want to be bending. That's not the only thing the show is about. What other things feel like they fit into that world?
It's nice to see
And
these
lessons
two.
kind of came up
Chris
in just
Mooney.
Sort of how much of the story of the show is about people learning and growing, both as kind of martial artists and
Oh,
as
Chris Mooney's the Council of Colors representative for
so
Black.
that
I
idea
didn't know
of
that.
lesson cards
It's
that
awesome.
can capture not only the actual techniques that people are learning. We've seen, water bending lesson and earth bending lesson, but also, important revelations within the world or important moments of growth for characters. We thought that was really fun. So that's where the idea of lesson came from. We liked bringing that subtype back. Especially because we also had a lot of mentor characters like Iroh that it just felt like these sort of mentor characters where their role in
this
the
set's gonna be
show
dope.
is a lot about passing along
Super
wisdom.
excited for this one.
It just felt so cool to have them care about lessons in various different ways.
Yeah. Now, when we first introduced lessons a couple years ago, it was about you would learn a lesson and you would pull it from your sideboard and that sort of thing. But it doesn't work that way in this set, correct?
That's right. In this set, there is no learn, so the learn mechanic isn't here. It's just the subtype and many other cards that care about that subtype in different ways.
Like the
Kinda
Iroh we
similar
saw.
to
We thought
other
that three-color
typo effects
Iroh in
that
the
are just
preview.
caring about the subtype rather than it being a specific mechanic.
Lessons Commander is definitely going to
So
be a
we're
thing.
going to see some cards that care about lessons as well as some lessons. Let's see one of those cards that cares about lessons in the
Lion Turtle.
3/6 for 3 mana. Elder Cat Turtle, which is a heck of a type line.
That is a type line.
Vigilance, reach,
Certainly a
and
type
you
line.
gain 3 life. Can't attack or block unless there are 3 or more lesson cards in your graveyard, and it can tap 4
Didn't I say,
mana.
Dylan?
Tell us about the development of this card.
Yeah, so I mean, the lion turtle, iconic creature in
thought that's what I
the
said,
show, from the end of the show. And we really wanted to capture that vibe of, it is very large for its size, 3 mana, 3/6 with some very relevant keywords. But that, just like in the show, it kind of stays dormant until
it might battle
you've
for us.
reached, the level
There's definitely going to be
of,
carryover between lessons and
wisdom
here and
kind
lessons
of
in
necessary.
Strixhaven.
So this is a card that is really powerful. Sort
I
of
really like
payoff
that
for having a lot
borderless
of
field
lessons in
notes
your deck.
treatment. I'm glad to see that
And we
back
wanted
from
to cap
Bloomborough.
on
Is that
it
where we
because
saw that for the
it
first
felt
time?
very, it's a land essentially until it wakes up. So you can play it down, use it to kind of, ramp and color fix you, and then once you've got enough lessons, then it will become a creature.
And if I'm not mistaken, the lion turtle teaches Aang a very important lesson, perhaps one of the most important lessons that he will learn through his series. And
Yeah,
something
Dylan
that might
Devaney
be
is his
very,
name.
very relevant, very, very quickly right after this moment.
All right, and then of course this set has a number of these hybrid animals. But we're going to talk more about those later because we have some more to reveal later.
Oh yeah, I didn't talk
let's
about
stay
that
on the
from the
lesson
show.
train
One of my
and
favorite things from the show, just like a cute little side thing, is there's not regular animals in the show.
The lesson that Aang learns
Look at
from
that.
the lion turtle is something that helps Aang turn the
There's
tides of battle,
not
but
like there's
he,
only one regular animal in the whole show. Every animal is like a combination of two animals. That's cute.
Ozai with violence. Aang stays true to himself. The lion turtle teaches him something of ancient lore, gives Aang the responsibility to use it
Let me
wisely,
check.
and here we can see that final moment on full display.
Yeah, and this, mechanically is kind of a weird effect, similar to energy bending sort of existing
We know of
outside of the
17,
normal
with
power
some
set
of them
the
being
world.
avatars,
We'll see
Jenk?
a little bit later at least one card that can take use of this, and there's more,
Not all these
more
are
of
gonna
that
be
in the
good.
set as well.
But I'm sure that there's going to be more colorless and more green and blue
well,
options.
And another thing I want to ask about here, Chris, is that this is
Like, there's a colorless option here.
We've seen a couple colorless cards. What was the thinking around colorless lessons?
I mean, yeah, we really wanted to make sure that there were enough lessons, available for everyone, for different players to be able to play them in their decks. So in a similar
There you go,
fashion
Jank.
to
Seems like that
original
was
Strixhaven, there are
on
a
their
number
mind.
of colorless instants and sorceries with the lesson subtype to up the density to help, make sure that there's enough going around in draft, but also to capture some of the moments that, like this one, are kind of a little bit
Mayor, that's what I was
outside
talking
of
about.
the typical colors.
We've got
and
Bosco.
more of a kind of generic, like,
That's pretty much it.
all-encompassing type of lesson.
All right, well, let's take a look at another lesson.
I know a little bit about Bosco.
Learned lesson, Zuko's Exile.
All right, chat.
Yeah, so this is a lesson that's kind
In
of
limited?
capturing less of a specific technique and more.
Okay, look, they're gonna announce this at the end of the set, but I'm an ambassador on this set. Oh, surprise! Hello, I'm an ambassador on this set. I got to play a lot of this limited this weekend. Firebending? You need more instants in your deck than you think.
Also about kind of the
Zuko's
way that
Exile
information that his family works,
as an instant speed thing
which
to use your
eventually kind of comes
firebending
to
mana with.
towards the end of the
5 mana
season.
exile,
This is the
pretty
Circus
much
Dragon
anything.
journey.
They get a
This card's
clue.
kind of a mirror of, we have the colorless
Excellent
lesson,
at common for your firebending
Aang's
decks.
Tour, which we showed off earlier.
I can't tell you how many times the firebending player was
And those
like
two kind of are the
attacking,
mirror
firebending a
starts
bunch of
our
mana
two,
into their mana
the two-
pool that can
two of our
only
main
be used in
characters here.
combat
So
because it goes
Aang
away when
being
you go to
on this
main
kind of,
phase
like,
2.
fun-loving adventure,
Didn't have any
exciting
instants
with
to
his friends,
play
journeying
at the
world.
time. Didn't have anything with
Meanwhile,
flash, didn't have any
Zuko has
instants.
been cast out of his home and now has to go
And
on
so-
a search for the avatar.
Yeah. Now,
Make sure if you're
real quick,
firebending
there's
at your
a question I've seen a
pre-release,
few
you
times
got
in
instant
chat,
spells.
And Dylan, this might even be a question for you. So we've seen on a couple cards, it's controlled.
Like,
with
maybe
creates
don't
a
run
clue
sorceries.
instead of the investigates keyword. Why did you all go with that here?
So that was
Yeah, this is cool.
both
5
a
mana
mechanical and a
exile,
flavorful
any
thing.
deck.
So,
It's a cool limited toy.
We
You gotta
loved
always
clues,
expect it.
In the set, Clue felt like a fun way of sort of capturing. There's a lot of different characters that are investigating, that are searching.
Oh,
for the
yeah,
avatar.
Green
They
gets
find
a
clues
nice
like
removal spell, eh?
Katara's necklace, and like Iroh's sandal that he leaves over. So there
Yeah,
are a lot
you
of
do
fun
have to pay
ideas for
attention to
clue
instants
cards. We
really
felt that
strong,
it played well with the
really,
set.
really
but the word
specifically Battle
investigate
Fries,
didn't
because
quite fit flavorfully.
firebending, that
The
mana
other
will go
thing
to
is
waste
that,
if you don't use it. You want to
we
use
make
it.
a lot back when we made Investigate the
Lots
first
of,
time
like-
around, in Shadows over Innistrad. We didn't make a
Just
lot
any
of
value
artifact tokens.
plays,
It was a
you
pretty
know?
novel thing.
I think that's why hybrid mana
But
became a thing
nowadays,
for this
we make
one, so
kind
that
of
you
a
can
lot of artifact
get,
tokens.
you know-
we make treasure, we make food.
We saw the
there's
one
all sorts of
lesson
stuff
that was-
show up in a lot of sets. And typically we don't have a special
this one.
word for
Abandon
that.
attachments,
We just
like,
say make
as
that
a ground level instant
so
for your firebending deck,
and
this
since
is
set
so
decided
good
that
just to have
Investigate wasn't the
multiples
perfect word
of,
for us.
because most of the firebenders are firebending 2 at least, and you can just cast this on combat, discard, draw 2, filter your hand a little bit.
So that was kind of the decision for this.
But Aang's Journey, not a sword. I mean, not an instant. This one was really good.
Maybe it's in a very fitting setting. Maybe Investigate will return, or maybe we will not use that word. I think we're kind of still open to that. But here we wanted to line it up more with the set. Also, as we've seen on previous and future cards, makes food tokens and other such tokens. So we thought lining up with that made more sense.
They wanted it to be more lore,
I was
field
actually going to cue that up and be like, wait a second, we're missing a word here. So that's the perfect conversation. But also, we are asking players to already learn a lot of words with the set already, with 4 new mechanics related to the bending elements. So taking away other words to learn the rules text and just understanding what the card does will help, especially new players who are fans of Avatar coming into the set, learn the words that they already understand.
Santiago, we'll have to take a look at that.
And then this can cue them up to learn what clues are, and then when they play wider Magic, learn that, oh, there's a whole mechanic around this if they really, really like it.
Yeah, there's certainly some amount of confusion with players when they see create a food. They're like, okay, that makes this token. They see investigate, and they're like, oh, well, it's got to be different. It's got to be different from food or from treasure because it has a special name, when in reality it is the same as
It is the same, yep. Makes sense.
Okay, got it.
All right, our next lesson is one that's going to get
Devin, treasure's pretty much in every set.
We have Yip.
This is one of those things with those Universes Beyond sets, chat. It's like the cute eye rolly cards. You're gonna get the instant speed cards in the Universes Beyond sets that are like thwip, that are like yip.
Ally again came from that exploration of what are some things that feel really connected into the Avatar world.
It's fun to cast yip.
What are the vibes that we're trying to capture?
All right,
that really make it feel like Avatar. Beyond just the 4 bendings. And one of the things is that the heroes of the story are not from one place. They are from all over the world. They're from all the different nations.
Look at it, Santiago.
Ultimately,
once we got them all,
the gang
I'll at least make a video
with,
on it for sure.
From all 4 nations, but also for non-benders and benders from different areas of the world. So we really wanted to
we're gonna get Cowabunga as an instant speed card in in TMNT. Jank, you made me laugh. Yip thwip Cowabunga is gonna be something that you can do in Magic.
Also had that same flavor. Allies exist in all 5.
Yip whip Cowabunga.
To bring something from Magic's
Anybody want to play Commander?
And capture the same flavor in a new setting.
Yeah. And we are going to talk more about allies later. We've got an entire section on that. So we'll come back to allies.
Yip is a card name that, when it's like, oh, we're making the Avatar set, we got to have a card called this. So just,
Yeah, it never once changed. It was put in, and it was like, that's it. I'm a huge proponent of when you are playing, saying the same things as the characters in the show when you're playing a Universes Beyond set, because it's just really fun and resonant. So I'm looking forward to the tallies of yip counters at pre-release.
All right, let's take another.
Dude, that's so funny. Yeah, if there's a Dragon Ball set and we would have to get Kamehameha.
So this is
Kamehameha.
a pretty sweet lesson. So 2 in a red, exile cards.
Here's a good one for your firebending, by the way.
Non-land card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost if the spell's mana value is less than the number of mana.
At uncommon.
If you don't cast that card this way, put it into your hand, and then it's got flashback for 7 mana.
Right, so this is capturing, the moment, again, this type of lesson of when Aang is learning the kind of true nature at the
halfway through season 2,
or like this is what's going on with the world.
Chunk
the
into
comet
season
is coming. 2. The firebenders are gonna win the war. Here's what we have to do to stop them. Mechanically, this card is one of many cards in the set that is going to reward you for sort of leaning into monocolor. So one of the things that we want
solid
to do
limited card if you're in monocolor, especially
because the set is
firebending instants. You gotta look at those instants that are red only and colorless.
We obviously wanted to build the set so that you could play all different combinations of colors. But we also wanted to make sure there was a little bit of monocolor rewards so that if people really wanted to go deep on, I am the firebending deck. I just have all red cards and all fire. We wanted to make sure that there were cards that would reward you for that. So this is one such card. There's one of these, an uncommon per color, plus 1 or 2 other cards beyond that. And energy bending is an example of a card that can help you to access multiple different monocolor rewards potentially in the same deck.
Flashback also here is a way for us to be able to showcase good gameplay, but also moments in the show where we literally quite see a flashback storytelling-wise, or Aang is learning a lesson from a previous avatar, flashing back into the life of one of his previous lives.
Yeah.
So again, when we get to sync up magic mechanics to like in-world moments or in like meta storytelling devices, I always feel like those cards are really, really strong because it makes the mechanic that much easier to explain. Like, oh, what is flashback? Like, well, in the episode, there was a flashback where we learned a lesson from one of his previous lives. And I think that really syncs up with the players quite literally learning a lesson as well about magic.
Yeah. Well, and Chris, we talked a little bit about this in the first look, but often a card like this would typically be a sorcery. Not always, but a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Can you talk about why this is a lesson?
Why is it instant? Why it's an instant?
I mean, it's because of firebending, of course. So your firebending creatures with firebending, when they attack, they give you mana until the end of combat.
Yeah.
So you really want to have activated abilities or instant.
That's going to be the worst, or that's going to be the way that people mess up their deck building at pre-release the
really
most.
High flashback costs
is build a lot of firebending in and not have enough instants.
Empower you to cast that spell earlier or more easily than you could otherwise.
All right. Next up is a cute little card that cares about lessons. We've got Sparring Dummy. Nope. Oh, Cycle of Renewal. I skipped.
That's next.
That's
Spoilers.
next.
Ooh,
Let's do
wait.
Cycle of Renewal. Okay, Cycle of Renewal, another lesson. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, so I mean, again, this is another lesson.
This is
concept
when
where we
she
really
gave
wanted
him
to dig
hope.
into what were some big learning and teaching moments
It's
in the
Harrow.
show for the characters? And this is certainly a very resonant, memorable moment for me where Aang is very distraught over
Yes,
the
mana
instructions
sync
for it, and
abilities.
Katara is
Jank,
like,
that was the
hey,
other way
you know,
to
like,
really take
life will go
advantage.
on and you know, this
fire
will
breathing,
be over time
it's strange,
rejuvenated.
but this is going to be a sentence that I'm going to say.
Lost in the despair of
Fire,
the moment.
fire
It is
breathing or
important to
flame
think about the
throwing, however you want to
long-term
refer to that,
future,
works really well
and
with
how
fire
things
bending.
can improve and get better and recover and heal.
Yeah.
Because you attack, get the mana, activate it, raise their power.
Card is a classic sort of we call them Harrow effects for the original card that did this, where you sack a land, but you get 2 lands back.
Vaughn, I don't think you're the only person who doesn't really care about the IP. But I do think that this IP in general fits better with MTG than Spider-Man, for instance. And so I feel like you're going to get a lot of cool cards for players in this set where the UB of it isn't really going to interfere too much with the fact that it's just some magic cards.
Cool. All right, now it's time for Sparring Dummy.
Yeah, there it is.
Harrow is already an instant battle prize, but yeah, it's basically it's a functional reprint of Harrow, but with the lesson subtype.
Where is Melon Lord? Do not fret, do not worry. Of course,
There's our Melon Lord,
out, including the Melon Lord inside the Avatar set.
Yeah, and it was fun to come up with various different concepts for cards that felt tied into lessons.
Yeah, for sure, Vaughn.
Like a sparring dummy, we've done these in Magic, and usually it's an artifact creature or something like that. The idea of, the sparring dummy
I don't think so, Vestern Man.
is better when you're trying to learn, when you have a lot of lessons in your deck. That just felt like a really fun new take,
I'm telling you, it all fits.
A little bit more flavorful.
This IP fits
than
better with
maybe this card
MTG than Spider-Man does.
Just an artifact creature.
Also, generally, when we attribute flavor text to the character speaking, we try and keep it consistent across the set, unless there is a major storytelling change here. We couldn't help but add Toph's proper title to the flavor text of this moment, Toph Melon Lord.
All right. Next up, we have a card, another card that cares about lessons, but it also cares about shrines and sagas, for that matter. So
here's Pathik.
Tell us a bit about this card, Chris.
Yeah, so here's Guru Patik, the
Patik.
guru that
lessons,
Aang,
sagas, and
goes
shrines.
to learn from at the Eastern Air Temple. Just trying to make sure I got the right one. Guru Patik cares about lessons.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said, Mirek, for sets that start as a thing and stay as that thing through their entire development life cycle.
A deck or anything that is built explicitly around all 3 of those.
Yeah.
But they all show up in the set. Lessons is a little bit more of the set. Saga is a little bit less of the set. But generally,
the bonus
they
sheet,
all
Vaughn,
felt
yeah.
like very flavorful.
Bonus sheet of Spider-Man was probably the best part.
That is,
I liked the comic book treatments as well.
And a teacher to be able to connect in all of these things. He lives at a shrine. Like
this one and the Venom one looked really cool.
Of the avatars. And he teaches a lot of great lessons. So
the bonus sheet we have seen. The bonus sheet is
not just the lessons deck, but also a couple of these other fun sort of sideways strategies for draft.
Moments from the
I
show.
want to pause here
One for each episode.
Talk a little bit about the use of hybrid in the set. So there's a number of hybrid cards in the set. What led to the inclusion of those?
That's right. So for the hybrid cards, there are a couple of different reasons. One was, again, we wanted to kind of make sure that we were showing some support for monocolor players. You know, if you want to play
Silver Black, that's a good point, and I will reiterate. I talk over these streams. This is happening live on Twitch right now. If you want to watch it without us, you're welcome to go do that. We're going to do a lot of chatting over this, especially during this part of the stream, because they're just yapping.
Legendary creatures at uncommon. And the reason for that is that we wanted the recognizable characters to be easier for players to pick up early in draft and kind of be flexible in where they played. So, for example, with Guru Patik, you know, for someone who maybe loves this character.
Interesting. So they're straight up saying they wanted the people to be able to play the characters they love more frequently. And so I wonder if that's going to be an entire design change for UB and why we're approaching the hybrid conversation in Commander, because a lot of times you can see the patterns with Wizards, and you know, we'll hear an announcement and 2 weeks later be like, oh, that's why. This set being super hybrid, I hadn't heard that they're leaning further that direction in design. I wonder if that's going to be set to set or if that's just going to be this set, because that potentially, we already knew that a bunch of Universes Beyond was going to increase. Here's your Shrine lovers. We knew that a Universes Beyond was going to increase the density of legendary creatures a lot because of named characters. But if it's also going to increase hybrid, that's very interesting.
The White Shrine, which was the Southern Air Temple. The thing that is cool about, or that is, I think it's cool, but the thing that's different about these shrines is that historically the shrines have, you know, had a certain effect that scaled with the number of shrines you control. These do too, but in a slightly different way. When these shrines enter, they'll have an effect based on the number that you control, but also every subsequent shrine that enters will
not an
also
excuse,
trigger that
Battle
same
Fries,
effect.
but it
so
certainly was
for example, with this
let's
card,
establish it first. Let's not make
a
the
red
first
monk with prowess
sci-fi
for each shrine
also
you
a
control
UB.
before or after you
100%
play
agree.
the Crescent Island Temple, and that kind of mixes up the shrine gameplay, gives it a little bit more dynamism, cares a little bit more about, you know, which shrines you play. You're always going to get the value out of all of your shrines, but maybe what order you play them in. For example, like the White Shrine puts +1/+1 counters on your creatures, so maybe you want to, you know, play it later on and maybe play this one earlier on.
Any shrines enjoyers?
We really wanted to.
Any Ghost Shintai builders can tell me if this card is dope in that deck or if it's just fine.
Bringing something new to the table that shrines had not done previously.
Yeah. Would also like to call attention to Momo here in the art.
There is a Momo.
Now, I think I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. There is a question uttered throughout the series, throughout every book and many episodes, and it is simply, where's Momo? We took that question to heart, and we decided to figure out, where did Momo go every time he disappeared if we didn't see Momo? Scattered throughout the set, we hid Momo in a variety of art and scenes and places when he's off on his own adventures. Here is a display where we can clearly see Momo in the foreground, but there are plenty of other pieces where he's hidden out.
Yeah,
in between.
prowess.
So my mission to all
Prowess
the Avatar
triggers
fans,
on
all players
any
out there,
spellcast.
is to, as you open the set,
Even
and play
instant
with the set,
speed during combat, yes.
Keep a list of all the areas you found Momo. Put them in your binder. See if you can find all the locations where Momo's off on his own quirky solo adventures.
One last thing I'll say is that even though we you know, talked about monocolor and trying to support monocolor, shrines of course go in the opposite direction. Shrines are about having all 5 colors. So we really wanted to give a lot of different styles of play within the set of like you can play, you know, there's obviously the classic 2 colors, but there's also a lot of 3-color legends.
Hopefully they don't go too crazy.
There's the 5-color shrines and there's the monocolor support. So really giving players a lot of different things, different directions to go in, different
Jank gets
and stuff to chew on.
A Fibblethip to track down.
I think we talked about this in the first look, if I remember correctly, but
Yoshintai's combo. Interesting.
You know, shrines seem like such a natural fit in this set. How early did they get in the set? Was it just kind of like a slam dunk, like, yeah, obviously we're doing shrines?
That makes the token shrines, right? Isn't that Goshintai? So this one's actually pretty cracked with Goshintai, right? Just based on the number of 1/1s that you'll be making, potentially. Sometimes all it takes is someone saying, does the we already saw one shrine commander, the panda creature from that episode where it's like a monster and then it turns into a panda once he calms it down. Bise. I can't remember. But that was a Shrine's commander.
Over time, of course, but sometimes it really is just one person having a great idea at the right time, and it just, you know, sticks with it the entire thing. I mean, honestly, that's how we came up with airbending as well. Mark Gottlieb was just like, he had never seen the show, so he had no idea. He was like, can someone explain what airbending does? And we explained it to him, and he was like, what about this mechanic? And we put it in the file, we loved it, and it never changed. So, great ideas. Some ideas take a lot of work and iteration and really stress testing.
We got some good stuff.
Other ideas,
tiring as hell.
You just try them out once, and you're like, this is
2-night
awesome,
trip to Los Angeles from Atlanta
Frankly
is
speaking, those conversations were so easy. Chris would just swing by my desk and be like, hey, we had a design meeting today, we went over this, and we want to put shrines in. And generally, when there's like a mechanical overlap with creative, I'll have like, oh, here are my thoughts, here's my feedback, here are my opinions. And I was just like, okay, yeah, that sounds sick. Because it is such a clear overlap with source material, it is immediately apparent of like, oh yeah, that's a win, that's a success. Well, how further, now how can we push it? And so those conversations always started with like one cool idea, and then it was, well, how many cool ideas can we now go with? So I really loved those, because also it's like I'd have a stack of meetings, Chris would swing by, and it was like, we got so much work done in 8 seconds.
Yes, yeah.
Just like, yeah, this is great.
I mean, one of the things that really made this set such a joy to work on, beyond just my own love of the show, was the fact that there are so many things that felt so natural to the marriage of the world of Avatar and the game of Magic, that there were so many things where it was like,
hockey jersey
that's
style
sweet,
meal.
let's just do that. And it didn't really, So it was just such an awesome, there's so many of those moments. It was like, this is a natural
Richard, what about duels and triples?
And just like, it made so many awesome parts of the set.
Makes sense. All right. Let's move on to another awesome part of the set and go back to talking about allies. We've touched on allies a little bit here. They were certainly in the debut video. So let's put an example up on the screen right now. Boiling Rock Rioter. So it's got firebending as well, but it certainly cares about allies and things.
Chat, this is a good example. If this was a legend,
much of the set cares about allies?
Firebending is like extort. It does not make your color identity also red to be a firebender.
They definitely show up
Strangely
slightly more in white and green, both for flavor and mechanically. We wanted to make sure that they're sort of a core.
There on the right is a good example of just the card and its color identity.
Allies show up in all the colors. That's kind of the point of them. And we wanted to make sure that we were able to capture allies even in kind of unexpected places. So, this is a Chit Sang, a prisoner from the Boiling Rock. Fire Nation prison, and he is an ally of opportunity, of chance, where they might not have teamed up with this guy under normal circumstances, but hey, given where they found themselves, he was more than happy to ally with the main characters and help them out in their attempt to escape the prison. And that also kind of ties into mechanically, he is able to kind of exile your allies from your graveyard and then recast them, kind of allowing them to escape from the graveyard and get back into the game. So we really wanted to connect to that as well. Also, one of the things we just found was it was very fun to sort of combine the bending mechanics like firebending with the allies. We have so many allies that have the bending mechanics naturally just because they are characters in the show. So we thought it was really fun that it's like many of the different cards play well in both allies decks and maybe decks that are built around the bending mechanics.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have a card that creates a pair of allies in the Cave of Two Lovers.
Oh, it's the Cave of Two Lovers.
Our first saga on this show.
We approached sagas,
and then I don't remember the rest of the words, but it goes something like in the chorus. It's like
example of what I would refer to as like a classic Magic saga, where it is specifically retelling lore, mythos, and history like we would in any Magic plane. One of the wonderful things about Airbender is that the lore and history of the previous avatars and world generations are paramount of importance to the experiences that Aang and his friends go through, constantly learning about the past to inform the future. So this saga here is from a particularly beloved
everybody in chat over here yelling secret tunnel.
Kind of like a cyclical story that happens in a particularly beloved location. That is a kind of a journey. That
I like that it randomly has the cave keyword on it.
This saga explores
so fun.
That story as we were told to it.
Oh yeah, you'll be able to. You can play, Richard. You could play 5 color in pre-release if you wanted to, but
in Magic here in the Airbender set with just a
might not get the support for it.
World depiction of how this story might be presented in the current era of Airbender.
And real quick, I'll just call out. You can see there, Chapter 2. It searches for a mountain or a cave card. So
reading chat's mind here.
Yeah, there may be. I don't think we're seeing it. We're not seeing it today, but there may be a cave card that flavorfully connects in with this story. I'll have to wait.
Secret.
So
it's a secret.
It is a secret. We shouldn't talk about it.
It's a secret.
All right. Let's move on.
I think they're hinting that we're getting a secret tunnel cave card.
So this one has Waterbending 5, and I do want to pause and just chat about Waterbending real quick, but also look at
Waterbending is convoke
you may reveal
and
a
improvise.
card with power 3 or less from among them, put into your hand, put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. This one's in this
Except
section,
it's only paying for
also
colorless.
an ally, but I do want to talk about Waterbending. Waterbending was one of the mechanics we held back a little bit because, as I understand it, there's a lot of
I saw this card in foil. I'm telling you,
into this
the art on this set
for
looks dope.
waterbending.
Right. So waterbending is a little bit unique. So firebending, it's a mechanic that goes on creatures, kind of does the same thing each time. Earthbending, has different numbers, but does the same thing each time. Airbending can target different things, target yourself, target your opponent sometimes, but generally does the same effect. Waterbending is very unique because it is the same cost on everything, but it has different effects. Yeah. And the reason for that is because when we were trying to come up with, what is a single effect that captured waterbending, we just never found anything that was really satisfying. We represent water magic in the game of Magic so many different ways. None of them felt uniquely specific to water. And in the show, they use water in so many different ways. They are, they can create liquid and solid ice and gaseous mist, and they can heal. And so there's so many, and there's blood bending, there's plant bending, there's so many different ways.
Yeah,
of
water bending is really cool.
What we were really looking for with water bending was a kind of singular input that could create a lot of different outputs. So that what makes it very different is that each water bending card, they all want you to have a lot of
I went to bed at like the
artifacts
13th or the 14th.
to help to pay the costs.
For example,
Water Tribe Rally
from
here
traveling
plays
the
really
last
well
two
with
nights.
allies. There's lots
Last
of
2 days.
little allies that are very cheap or make ally
But
tokens.
my boy walked
so
it off.
Not only is this card an ally itself, but you're also likely to play it with other cards that will make it easier to pay the waterbending cost over and over again. But also to but because all of them are doing different things, it really captures a wide range of different ways that waterbending manifests.
Just see Otani's lines over the last
also,
two series.
One of the amazing opportunities that
It's
we
like
had when
home
working
run,
on
double,
the set
home
with
run,
Avatar
double,
Studios
home run, double,
was
walk,
to
walk,
find
walk,
little
walk,
areas of the world to like +1 and explore a little bit. So if you're a fan of the show, you remember that when we go
He's starting tonight, by the way,
Northern Water
Otani
Tribe or in the North Pole, most of the female waterbenders are healers. And as Katara comes in, there's a big struggle between her and Paku about the role of a waterbender.
I think Final Fantasy is a larger IP for sure.
Shatters the societal expectations of.
Count, we already got 2 baseball games, right?
And so after that,
people got their money worth if
later
they
on
stayed.
in the series, we've got waterbenders from the north that come, act as allies, and reinforce the gang. But we wanted to explore, after Katara left, do the other healers learn more bending combat?
We're having to invent new. Yeah, Otani starts tonight. We're having to invent new metrics
to
to
kind of explore
judge
and flesh out
Otani.
the ramifications as Team Avatar has moved.
War is not going to capture how valuable he is to a team.
Might have gone, which is a really, really fun opportunity to continue to flesh out the world with our partners.
Yeah, it was awesome to work with them and to discuss these little details of the world that we got to kind of expand or explore.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our next card, White Lotus Reinforcement. So this one, pretty straightforward.
This is your kind of signpost on common.
Yeah, so this, is a key part of the white-green ally typal deck for limited. And yeah, I think it's just sort of a classic, not every single ally cares about allies, but there are a lot that do and are going to, encourage you to be playing as many allies.
Depending on how tonight's Otani start goes, there's an argument that he won the World Series for them.
Now we got a couple powerful Fire Nation cards to
and I know they haven't won yet, but
including Ozai the
it's not gonna be his fault if they lose.
Along with
look at Ozai, dude.
Booster Fun versions.
Trample, firebending, haste, 7/7. You don't lose on spent mana.
Final boss
flying indestructible if you've got mana in your pool. Woo!
And additionally, it also
this is my Rakdos shit right here now.
This is so much about the kind of peak of over-the-top firebending power. So we really love the idea of, especially in this moment,
Dominic Mayer coming through
Ozai,
hard
kind
with the borderless scenes, dude.
Gathering up all of the firepower that he
black and white,
and getting stronger.
The foiling
and
is going to look insane on them.
You know, it kind of also connects in with card that we saw.
Yeah, it's UB nails. There's always going to be a lot of legendaries. It's UB.
The Comet, which gives all your creatures a lot of firebending.
Yeah.
So just being able to, you know, pool up all your firebending mana and hold it and spend it on something huge,
Yeah,
or just have it around and have him, you know, fly and be indestructible in addition to trampling and haste.
Flying 7/7 trample haste.
Booster fun versions.
Indestructible. Crazy.
Amazing.
One of the ways.
Oh man, I love it. I'm gonna definitely be putting that in Dahada and resurrecting Ozai the Phoenix King.
Like a legendary character, legendary creature in like a cool heroic moment or a really awesome action shot. And
no, I think only the main characters. Only
we're
the
trying to keep distance
team
away
maybe.
From Ozai,
Devin got those.
Still that kind of like looming villain. Even when Aang and him are fighting at like the very end, it was important for us to like feel as though you could see the weight of his firepower versus just him as a character, because of what he represents and the force that he brings as much part of his character.
Oh no, the battle pose is right there.
Actual design and his
oh yeah, no
textless
textless
battle
pose.
Becomes true across most of the iterations
put that together.
we will see, whether it's in the main set.
Yeah, Mayor's great. Mayor's
Borderless
insane.
Battle pose and so on.
All right.
And I've seen a couple of the Dominic Mayer treatments for the borderless scenes. He got all of those, or he got a good chunk of those. I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen a good amount of them.
We haven't seen many vehicles.
And so it's that black and white style in foil looks insane.
Yep, there are a few vehicles, you know, just for
Fire Nation Drill is one of my favorite cards from this set, y'all.
Here we can see that, right, Fire Nation Drill.
It's so silly, but I love it.
It destroys something when it shows up. Destroys something with power 4 or less, so pretty good at taking down walls. Yeah. It also has this ability where it makes things lose hexproof and indestructible. I don't know what that's about. Maybe there'll be something else in the set that you know, gives one of those two things that it might be good to have a drill to help take down. We'll have to see. But yeah, this card, you know, like very memorable episode and moment in the show that we really wanted to capture. And also I want to point out the sort of for the borderless field notes.
I was going to ask about that. That's normally creatures and animals.
Right. So we'll see a lot of hybrid animals that have the field notes. But we also kind of wanted to mix it up and add in a little bit of variation.
Swift Spear?
So some of these,
Shadow Spear?
A War Machine, kind of large mechanical or just general like structures where we got a little bit more like blueprints or architectural with the field notes. You know, same style, same treatment, but allows us to kind of explore different aesthetics than the kind of like biological, zoological type of notes.
All right. We are nearing the end. Not there yet.
Nearing?
But we've still got a few cool cards to show off in our bonus round, as well as some of the borderless versions of cards we saw in the debut video. But before we get to that, let's take a look at our next card, Daily Agents. This is a sweet card and a sweet looking card on that borderless scene card there.
So pay attention.
Yeah, so Daily Agent when it enters, you earthbend
pre-releases,
one, and then you earthbend one again.
Earthbending.
So that means you could.
The two big notes that we had playing this in limited. Firebending, you gotta have instants in the deck or you're gonna be wasting a lot of mana that you create. Daily Agents, cards with earthbending, you can put the counters on the same land. Because it says target land you control becomes a 0/0 creature with haste that's still a land, put a +1 counter on it. It doesn't say target non-creature land you control becomes a 0/0 creature. So just be aware, like armies, you can just stack your earthbent land as a bigger and bigger creature before you get to work with it. And always consider that when it dies or gets exiled, it just comes right back to the battlefield tapped as a land. So that's sort of the you can be a little aggressive with earthbending because the lands are going to come back.
There are plenty of other ways of using earthbending too, to for landfall or for having a larger creature if you stack up on one. So earthbending is very flexible in the different ways you can use it.
Yeah. I love the introduction of black mana to the Daily. We've seen a lot of green and maybe a little bit green-red earthbending as the more like primal and more expected version of it, but the Daily have such a specific flavor inside of Ba Sing Se when we see them, giving them black mana and then adding more to the mythos of how earthbending it has been adapted is a great way to showcase like the in-world storytelling.
There you go, Chad. That's a good explanation of black mana in this world.
Is increasingly flexible or gains kind of new attributes.
It's kind of a touch on all of the colors, right?
That's right. Even
it's more of a combo color.
the bending mechanics are generally focused into one color. They of course splash out into
Oh yeah,
places
Jank, that would be
based on
sick.
flavor and also for gameplay. And black, of course, not having any sort of element.
Waterbending's
tied
tough,
to it,
as
is the one where we see
waterbending,
the
paying
most
for
of the
costs,
different
free
elements kind of
spells.
like,
That's a
hey,
slippery
there are,
slope.
you
It's
know,
a thin
villains or anti-heroes
razor's
in all the
edge
different
to
nations
walk
using all
to
different
create
bending. So
fun cards,
black is
good
gonna
cards,
see a lot
and
of the
busted
different bending
cards.
mechanics showing up.
Yeah. All right. We touched on it earlier, but let's talk about the hybrid animals. Let's take a look at Tiger Seal.
Yes, dude.
A bit more. I mean, this in and of itself, very cool card. Single blue mana for a 3/3 with vigilance. But at the beginning of your upkeep,
Spec.
tap this creature.
Spectre ask, are the foils crisp? Spec, the foiling in this set is maybe the best foiling of the year.
Yeah, so
It's kinda crazy.
just a really unique.
Let me see if I can
part
find
of
some
the
good examples
Avatar
of some
world
cards that have
is
already
these
been.
hybrid animals. It's something that Magic itself has done.
Oh, they already
and
showed
people
this one.
always seem to love it, so it was great to return to that. One of the fun things that we learned is originally, Avatar wasn't.
Here's a
It wasn't
Katara
part
the
of
Fearless
original vision for
foil.
Avatar to have these
Base
hybrid
frame.
creatures.
They've
But,
got the watermark on them. It's hard
a
to get the
concept
foil
artist
here.
just drew a couple and they put them in the show, and then all the other artists loved them so much.
The
they just kept making
watermark
more
looks
and more and more until it
really
became an
sick behind
iconic
these,
part of the world.
behind the cards.
And this card, a fun card for your drawing your second card style deck, good with clues.
But yeah, base
straightforward,
rainbow
fun,
foil in this
interesting kind
set
of take on a
is
blue.
looking fantastic.
I just want to
Better than I've seen all year.
Tiger cub or the kitten seal,
Right.
And in the borderless field notes, this is paramount, one of the top
None.
5 favorite
Thorn.
pieces of art for me, because again, this is just cementing me in world. If I saw this little guy, I would probably be torn to shreds by the mother tiger seal, but he's just so adorable.
Yeah, Matt.
I can't not.
I believe.
All right. Now let's take.
I don't know
look
the answer to that.
at Honest
Let me
Wolf.
find out.
Oh.
Japan.
Path to Redemption.
Path to Redemption.
Path to Redemption. All right. 1 and a white for enchant creature. Enchant creature can't attack or block, so we get that passive style effect. But then 5 mana, sacrifice the aura. You exile the enchanted creature and make an ally.
Right. So I mean,
Japanese
one
box.
of the fun parts and sometimes challenging parts of Magic design is coming up.
I mean, that's
with
been sitting out on
fun,
my desk.
interesting twists on kind of the classic Magic cards that we've
3
seen
or 4
a lot
days
that
out of the
we know
pack.
play well. So this is a pacifism with an expensive way of getting rid of the creature, get a little bonus.
And I'll tell you, in Georgia
but
right now, it's that
a card like
we're in
this,
the
what's
climate
really
where
amazing
it's
is finding some awesome
cold
flavors.
as
So for
shit
us, that
most
was
of the
the
day and
idea
night,
of,
but then there's gonna be 2 hours where you're like, why is it so hot?
Throughout his life,
And then it'll go back to cold.
Predating the
So,
events of the show.
temper
Like, there used to
fluctuations
be
typically
a
make my
fire
cards
issue in
bend a lot
general,
worse in
and
Georgia
then
with
through
the
some tragedy kind of became more of a
humidity in
passive,
Georgia.
person not really actively fighting in the war, and then of course flipping all the way to becoming an ally and actively participating in the side of the White Lotus and the allied nations against the Fire Nation. So this, even though it's a common, it is still able to tell that story through the stages that it takes us through, which is something that is always just so fun when you get to tell these awesome stories through kind of even common Magic art.
And beautiful flavor text, a beautiful quote, a beautiful moment.
I was going to ask you about that. This is a good place to talk about the flavor text because we've seen some. This one's really fitting. Now, Dylan, was it all taken
Professor,
directly
typically the
from
print
show?
quality is
there
better.
Anything that's not from the show?
Yeah, so
And they
about
use,
90% of the flavor text comes directly from
a
the
lot of
show.
times you'll
There's
see
so
that
many,
it's
like,
razor
wonderful
cut or
iconic
knife
quotes that
cut,
people
depending
know,
on
love and expect. Especially
physically
for certain
cut. You can see
characters
kind of the
like Pyro,
difference.
Every single line he says, oh my god, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites favorite arts in the set, and it's on a common, right? It looks insane.
In particular, for example,
This one in
or this
foil.
event
It's
that
nuts
happened.
how many
We just,
cards
as
in this set
viewers,
look
watch
great
it
in
and
foil
understand
because
the
of how much
context of
negative
these arts.
space there
So
is
we would write new,
in this
almost
art, like
bestiary style flavor
fire
text, or add
bending,
some,
water
put some
bending,
more
air
to kind of
bending.
set
Like
the
that's
tone and
all
the flavor.
represented
But
as like
whenever
white
possible, we always started
swooshes,
with
you know.
something from the
And
show.
so you've
It's
got
lot
a
of the
ton. Even
expectation to see
earthbending
what
is like
we're
green
familiar with,
swooshes.
but then to present them in either the context you want to see it in, or the context that is brand new, where we are overlaying a larger, maybe more abstract creative concept here with a quote that you know and love to kind of reinstill.
You want to see the coolest card I opened in my collector box?
Something that you have maybe
I can
watched
show y'all
6
right
or
now?
7 or 9 or 11 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I certainly remember the point in the process where Dylan came to me and was like, here is my extensive list of awesome Iroh lines. Where can we put these on cards?
All right, let's take a look
Set looks
at
fire.
our next card. There it is.
Oh, there it
There's
is.
honest
Yeah.
work. This
People
is-
will have
this is
feelings about
back
this one.
here.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
but
so
I
I
love
mean,
it.
this is kind of this is a style of Magic card we're seeing more and more nowadays. We refer to it usually as a witness protection style effect because that was the most memorable version for us, at least at the beginning.
Oh, dude.
And that felt very flavorful for this moment.
I love this as a removal spell in this set.
Kind of hiding as
humble merchants.
Right. Oh god, refugees. Sorry, I lost the word. They're hiding as refugees in the Bossing Say. So they're pretending / honestly living.
Yeah, so there's a look at the foiling in one that's like dark, not really, showing it off, not really made for foil necessarily. But just kind of shows you the quality of the foil in this set, at least from my box.
Mechanically,
and it was
one of the things
congruent across the play and the
just the classic normal
collector
style
box
of witness protection effect. Kind of pretty annoying if it goes on an earthbended land. So that led us to this kind of different approach where
I can't release that until a week from Saturday or a week from Friday.
But then in exchange, that creature does.
But that's what I was doing in LA. Was shooting.
That's kind of the trade-off of a little bit stronger in one way,
some garage stuff for Avatar,
fit
and some Joel Magic stuff for.
And I also think that
Avatar.
Tapping for colorless mana feels like
lots of cool videos coming out in the next couple weeks.
To me. Just like a little utility guy that's helping you out still.
All right, now we are gonna move on to showing off some of the borderless versions of some cards.
Booster fun time.
We saw in the debut video. We'll chat about the cards as well. We're not going to just blow right by these.
You know that's all this skeevy little sicko wants is some collector cards. Dude, yes.
So
these art treatments of the characters on the right,
borderless version on the right.
They just call it borderless, but I've seen a few of these for different characters.
You've got firebending,
these multicolors, like color swath sort of style. Really cool looking.
We wanted it to make red mana because
and here's a
so resonant, just visually seeing
blue-black Azula. Reminder: fire bending is not identity defining.
Now,
this is a blue-black commander.
The reminder text red symbols don't count towards color identity, so this card is a blue-black.
Yeah, Nico, I was pleased to get this one. This is a really sweet set. I was sad not to get Spider-Man. Not gonna lie, I was miffed.
But, Azula...
Still would have kicked its ass. I still would have done great for that set, even though a lot of people didn't like it. But we gon' kick some ass for this set. This set's dope.
Much stronger than, no, sorry to Dante
Oh, yeah,
Bosco,
dude. Lots of Azula fans in chat.
We'll say.
This is your kind of thing here. Target opponent exiles a non-token creature than they control. You get to choose. You get to choose. Oh, also, I'm going to be using that.
This is representing Azula in
Nasty.
2. Where she, and
that's an entrance.
The moment where she takes over the Earth Kingdom, kind of, performs a coup and is able to usurp the Earth King and Dai Li.
Yeah, take over the Dai Li and become kind of this new
Long Fang, the leader of the Dai Li. So she takes over.
Yeah, the 3-color Azula is very interesting to me. It's a card that I want to build.
She gets to cast them. She gets to take over those cards.
I didn't get a special version of that one, but I got
and very Azula
base
thing to do.
We've also seen a couple of this in particular moment from the borderless side of here, done by Tony Infante. A couple of those cards are starting to stack up. I'm curious if people are putting together what exactly this is maybe building to or putting together as they do go together. And there is a very specific scene that these are all kind of...
Firelord Azula, yeah, we saw this one.
All right. Speaking
really sweet card.
Let's take a look at Firelord Azula.
There she is.
There's 3 colors. Yeah.
You can see that Dominic Mayer treatment in the middle chat. That Dominic Mayer treatment is on multiple of the main characters, even like main side characters like Azula.
Her simultaneous ascent to the throne and descent in terms of her mental state. But so yeah, in the final duel with Zuko here.
No, yeah, Spec, you're all good. There's a couple of Angs I want to build first. No serialized cards, Rock. There's no serialized.
But yeah, again, just kind of we found. Firebending was a really fun mechanic to work with. We found a lot of
so cool. 4/4 for 4.
And in this case, right, finding
you figure out a way to give her menace or first strike, you're going to be in business. And I promise, in blue, black, red, you're going to be able to give her menace or first strike.
Cards that maybe have flash naturally, you can really do some awesome stuff
main side characters. The main side character
also, if you
Azula.
are an Avatar fan and you're playing Firelord Azula, and maybe someone who hasn't watched the series yet reads the flavor text and goes, "Oh, what a nice sister. She's so sorry about this moment." It is your duty to instruct that new player or that new would-be fan that in fact that is sarcastic.
The borderless goes super hard.
You have to use the tone. She is not sorry at all. In fact, she's very excited.
I'm really hoping they show
Where's the slash
a certain
S?
one in that treatment.
yeah.
I think thankfully the face in the awesome art here is really going to help to communicate.
Really
her.
communicate her goals.
Well, I mean, speaking of the awesome art, like the borderless,
Oh yeah, dude. J. Jonah definitely in her 99.
Striking borderless cards we've ever done.
Yeah, it's important to kind of display Azula as power incarnate, just like we were talking about with Ozai. But we get so much more close-up screen time with Azula. That's why we also
was
try to keep her a little bit
born
closer to the
lucky.
frame because
Zuko
her
was lucky to be
expressions are
born.
exceedingly important to understand.
We know what the Fire Lord said.
All right, now let's take a look at the main and booster fun versions of Aang at the Crossroads / Aang Destined Savior.
Aang at the Crossroads,
we
dude.
haven't, in this show, we did a little bit again at the first look, but talked about the sort of the growth of Aang as
This is like the end of book 2, right?
Touched on it, but where is this version of Aang at in the story?
That's right. So this is Aang at the end of book 2. Where he has, he's picked up earthbending along the way. And in particular, this front side is kind of capturing Aang's journey through this. He's searching the top 5 cards to try and find creatures. In this book, not only he starts out searching for his earthbending teacher of Toph, eventually finds her, and then spends a lot of the rest of the season searching for his long-lost best friend Appa, who he also does eventually find. But in particular down here, we can see when another creature leaves the battlefield, Aang is going to transform. And that is sort of representing the fact that at the very end of the finale, he...
Spoilers.
Has sort of locked himself out of, against Guru Patik's instructions, he kind of goes to help his friends. He sort of locked himself out of the Avatar state. But when he sees, his friends, particularly Katara, in danger, he sort of reaccesses the Avatar state. In case maybe someone hasn't seen the show, I won't spoil exactly what happens right after that. But we see kind of here is his, this card's really telling the story overall of his book 2 journey. And as you mentioned, we've seen a couple of different Aangs. We saw a one-color Aang that airbends.
Yeah, I will say this: the design of this one is all over the place. It's interesting to me because there are so many routes you can go with it.
I don't know. There might be one.
There's a lot on this card.
We're not big on patterns.
Yeah, no, 3 seems right for the.
Yeah. For us, three Aang cards felt right. 3 elements felt right, and so that is what we decided to do. At least until further notice.
Talk a little bit about this being colorless on the backside as well.
Yeah, so one of the things that, to me, and this is honestly something that just came from my own wishes, which was that basically I felt that it was really important that the Avatar state, so the backsides of all the Aangs represent him really entering into that full-on Avatar state moment. And so
I bet they are. Negative space looks awesome in foiling. You're looking at 2 backsides of cards that in foil look insane.
When the Avatar sort of transcends kind of being just like, so you can even see that, right, like he's a human avatar on the front. He's just an avatar on the back, and he goes from being many colored to being no color. And the idea of the avatar state being this spiritual transcendence that goes beyond color, goes beyond, human form, and really enters into this brand new echelon of power and importance and mystic, mystic importance. To me, it felt like it was a really cool way of just upping the ante. And, we saw this not only on the Aang cards, but also on the, we've seen one double-faced saga, which has Avatar Kuruk on the back, and Kuruk is also colorless on the back. So that's kind of a through line of the backside Avatar states are always colorless. That not only gives you that feeling of they've gone above and beyond what they...
that's interesting. It's not going to have a ton of gameplay implications, but...
also all get to have really cool
Ugin's exile effect
on the back that even
doesn't hit
set,
avatars.
You get to see kind of art that extends beyond the normal frame.
All right, one final card to look at, a last card, you may The Last
Somebody just asked me about this, so ask and it shall be answered. But Dominic Mayer also came through in this one. I don't have this one in foil, unfortunately, to show y'all, but
you're really going to want to see
the card itself
all together. That's all I'll say.
That's all you'll say.
Yes.
All right.
The card itself looks pretty sick.
Yeah, awesome flavor.
And then it's part of a larger
the Last Agni
scene, I think.
Really pivotal, super memorable moment. One of the coolest, in my personal opinion, as an Avatar fan, obviously. One of the coolest kind of like final battle finale episodes. And
we're almost to 69 likes, Devin. Thank you for letting me know.
It has to be.
Hit that like button. Let's get across 69.
Really tie in with Firebend.
Yeah, Buzz, that's what I'm saying. They really told Dominic Mayer, they were like, black and white foiling will look awesome. But the base copy looks dope in foil too. The blue and the red.
But also in
I'm telling you, a set that's mostly about bending elements shooting out of people's hands.
Similar effect to
turns out the foil cards are pretty sweet looking.
These kind of like really, really high level pivotal firebending moments, kind of allowing you to extend the usage of your fire in ways that open up all sorts of new possibilities.
Yeah. All right. We are just about done. We do have a couple other things, just some small things, but that's what we have for the main set. Is there anything you want to land on? Anything you're excited about for people to discover during preview season?
I'm not excited at all, really. No, I'm excited about everything. Obviously, it's too much to count. I could go on and on. So really, just there's still a lot of things that people are asking me, like, oh, are we going to see this? Are we going to see that? We tried to get basically everything that we could. One of the awesome parts of Avatar is that, with 3 seasons of television, there's a lot of material to dig into, but not so much that we had to leave a lot.
Did we get to 69 likes?
So I think
we did. Thanks for hitting like, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
See a lot of the things that they want to see, and I'm hoping that we got everyone's favorites in there in some way.
Yeah. I have expressed what I need to know. Momo. Find Momo. I want to hear. I want to see your collections of if you found all the Momos. I'll be checking your math.
Yeah. All right. Before we go, we do have. We're not going to show off much from. A lot of sets have secret layers associated with them. This set's no different.
I haven't seen this chat.
A ton, but we did think this.
They don't give us access to any of the secret layer stuff.
Was worth showing off to all of you Avatar fans. So let's just throw up all my cabbages.
Oh, it's an entire cabbage secret layer, chat.
Writing the flavor text for this, brutal.
Oh
really
my
just
god.
Trying to capture the emotional
give me a second.
Catharsis or the
Chain of Vapor.
We really had to dig deep and really feel like what would happen if I lost my cabbage cart.
Chain of Vapor is like a $5 to $10 card. Meltdown is nothing.
No, these are fantastic. We'll have more information about the
that's an uncommon. That was just reprinted. Nature's Claim. Yeah, it's like, honestly, Chain of Vapor is...
That was on purpose for sure.
You're hitting this set. Anguish is not going to be money.
And before we
go, from a value standpoint, not great.
Are interested in
Vanquish is like $2.
About this set, seeing more, we of course have our ambassadors.
Not a ton of value, but really cool looking.
Up on the screen,
especially for fans. Hey, look! Might know a couple names on there.
Amazing ambassador content.
Little Joel R. Magic, Martitious Magic.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Y'all might know some of these names on here. Hey.
On your favorite social media platform to find what any of these amazing folks.
Yay for us!
So start looking for them soon.
We got a lot of stuff coming out, y'all. It's gonna be a super fun set.
All we have
super
today.
Fun set.
Thank you for tuning in.
That's all I'm gonna do too. I gotta get into making some videos and some shorts about all this stuff, y'all. I appreciate y'all hanging out for the reveal today. Lots and lots of Avatar content coming out over the next couple of weeks. Let me know if there's anything specific y'all want to see that I'm not providing, but it should be what you're expecting out of my side over here. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Go look for somebody else live. YouTube does not have a what do you call it feature. Love y'all. Miss y'all. See you soon. Talk soon. We'll be live Thursday night for Commander fan fights. If you want to get in on some Commander every Thursday night, go join the Patreon. Big thanks to the sponsors of the channel. Card Conduit, best place to sell your cards. TCG Player, best place to buy them. Dragon Shield, best way to protect them. Boxfield, the only place to put your deck lists. I think that's it. I think I got everything done. Oh, somebody just said, wait. It was the Trav. Son, don't say farewell. Somebody ban Son Gohan. Son Gohan, you are banned. I'm just kidding. I love you. Yeah, the set looks cool. It's going to be a cool set. It really fits well with Magic. The cards are fun to play with. We had a good time playing the Limited. We did a boxing league. That's what we shot on Sunday for Garage. The 4 participants, which we'll announce our guests at a later time, if Dom hasn't already. The 4 participants all got a box of Avatar, and we built Commander decks and played. Anyway, that's it. Have a good rest of your day. Like and subscribe. Videos soon. Everybody's going, wait, hang on, wait. Oh, I do have I got to do my big ambassador reveal. Do y'all want to see an awesome new, really hard to open card from